Welcome to the fantasy audiobook. Dad, the beginning of the game, the Empress brought her daughter to my house and forced me to marry her. Chapter 61. What? Kong Qingyu's words made Kong Qingkang and Du Yuro wake up like a dream. The monarch and crown prince who were beaten in the Tianxing kingdom were Du Yuro's big brother and nephew. Not only Du Yuro, but also Kong Qingkang burst out with anger. Beishuan Tian Ruiying, you are so brave. Letting go of Du Yuro, Kong Qingkang stood up. His terrifying emperor realm cultivation base turned into a formidable coercion enough to tear apart the space, causing the air in a 10-mile radius to tremble violently. Du Yuro had already told Kong Qingkang about Du Junming, the prince of Tianxing kingdom, and Wu Saiyu, prince of Kangyu kingdom. The reason why Kong Qingkang did not move. I just wanted to take this opportunity to let Tianxing Guo Haosheng imprison Wu Saiyu for a few days, so as to give Bei Xuantian a slap in the face. Which thought, before he could order Wu Saiyu to be let go, Ruiying led someone into Tianxing kingdom and injured his father-in-law. Kong Qingyu's eyes were gloomy. Father, if Ruiying hadn't received the order of Dongwang Zio, she wouldn't dare to be so arrogant. Humph. The killing intent in Kong Qingkang's eyes skyrocketed. Of course it was her Dongwang Zio's idea. I can't believe that this woman is really bold. Does she really take me Dong Yuantian seriously? Kong Qingyu asked, Father, what should we do next? Without waiting for Kong Qingkang to answer, Du Yuro wept and said, Your Majesty, Dongwang Zio is so presumptuous, he is punching Dong Yuantian in the face, punching you in the face. You are the famous Dongyuan great emperor of the Nine Heavens immortal domain, you must give that woman a look. Kong Qingkang clenched his fists. Of course. This revenge must be avenged. Your Majesty, a letter from Bei Xuantian. At this moment a minister hurried in with a letter made of gold leaf in his hand. The appearance of the gold foil shone with the light of a red seal, and there was a mysterious ice lingering around. Kong Qingkang glanced at it and frowned. This is a handwritten letter from Dongwang Zio. He recognized that the seal was the imperial jade seal of Dongwang Zio. Taking the envelope, Kong Qingkang used spirit power to dissolve the mysterious ice on the surface. Then, 4 big and powerful characters appeared in front of him. Fight to fight. Not only Kong Qingkang, but also Kong Qingyu and Du Yuro were shocked by these 4 words. Dongwang Zio is putting down the harsh words. This time, it would be better if Kong Qingkang didn't pursue it. If she dared to pursue it, her Bei Xuantian would not hesitate to fight Dong Yuantian. What a domineering woman. The 3 of them shouted this at the same time. East Emperor Zio, the widow will fulfill you and fight with you. After a brief shock, Kong Qingkang showed his murderous intent. He took out a true qi and kneaded the envelope in his hand into powder. Call. A mysterious black light suddenly emerged from the powder. After Kong Qingkang and Kong Qingyu felt it carefully, they couldn't help being surprised. Devilish qi. How can there be devilish qi in Dongwang Zio? Kong Qingkang completely understood. Dongwang Zio sealed devilish qi in this letter. Just wanted to tell him that Dongwang Zio is not only cultivating immortals, but also cultivating demons. However, since ancient times immortals and demons have been incompatible. No matter how talented a person is, it is impossible to cultivate demons at the same time as cultivating immortals. However, devilish qi was mixed with Dongwang Zio's mysterious ice aura. This clearly shows that she is an immortal fellow practitioner. If the widow guesses correctly, Dongwang Zio must have obtained the cultivation technique of the demons from the kingdom of 10,000 demons. She sent this letter to the widow to reveal a little bit of trump card, so that the widow can betray the rat. Shanmo fellow practitioners are really talented and courageous. Kong Qingkang showed a sinister smile. Kong Qingyu thought that the woman he once admired was such a genius, and he was even more resentful at the rejection of Dongwang Zio. Father, what should we do now? Kong Qingkang suddenly burst into laughter and said, Since the ascension of Emperor Dongwang Zio, the widow and her are destined to have a fight. Since she is an immortal fellow practitioner, let her cultivate more time. The widow has patience to wait. He did not say that the Dongyuan emperor has an absolutely taboo secret technique. Swallow the gods. Can forcibly devour the opponent's cultivation base. Dongwang Zio, such a monstrous talent, if given time, will definitely cultivate a terrifying cultivation base that will shock the Nine Heavens immortal domain. Until then, if Kong Qingkang can find a chance to devour Dongwang Zio's cultivation base, then he will definitely become the strongest of the 9 heavens immortal domain in one fell swoop. Dong Yuantian, taking advantage of this shareholder win to annex Bei Xuantian, even the entire 9 heavens immortal domain is no problem. So Kong Qingkang told himself that those who make big things don't stick to trifles. Endured this moment of anger. After his own swallowing heaven magical art is complete, he will first use Nan Xuantian and his allies to annex Bei Xuantian. Then break them down one by one and eat all of the 9 heavens immortal domain into the stomach. It seems that you have a good plan to deal with Dongwang Zio. Kong Qingyu is not stupid enough to think that his own father emperor will be frightened by Dongwang Zio. He concluded that in his father's heart, he must be planning a great plan. Kong Qingkang smiled proudly and raised a finger. At the most 1 year later, the widow will let Dongwang Zio kneel in front of you and repent for her rejection of you. If that's the case, then it's even better. Kong Qingyu's eyes lit up. Thinking of the scene of Dongwang Zio kneeling in front of him, his blood boiled over. In the beginning sacred land. Clouds are lingering, the ice is soaring, and the snow is white at a glance, like a fairyland. Sacred land has a total of 100,000 peaks. Within 5,000 miles of the main peak, Taichu Peak, there are a total of 19 peaks that are second only to the main peak. These 19 sub-main peaks are the residences of the most respected elders in the history of sacred land, or the best among the true disciples. In other words, it is possible to live on these 19 minor peaks. It almost represents the lofty status of one person under 10,000 people in the entire sacred land. However, in the very beginning, sacred land was founded 1,000,000 years ago, and there were only 10 true disciples who could live on the sub-main peak. Lin Ruofei, the senior brother of this sacred land, is one of them. The morning sun shines into Lin Ruofei's bedroom, making his handsome and extraordinary appearance even more out of the dust. 3,000 weak water, I only take 1 scoop. Yu Qing, today I will let you understand my heart. After carefully grooming, Lin Ruofei wore a white robe and was well dressed. He sat at the desk and wrote a letter, intending to take advantage of today's opportunity for Mu Yuqing to come to sacred land for assessment, and send the letter to Mu Yuqing. And the content of the letter is of course his confession to Mu Yuqing. Ever since Mu Yuqing came to sacred land when he was 10 years old, he has been obsessed with Mu Yuqing. Over the years, after witnessing Mu Yuqing grow from a girl to a slim goddess, Lin Ruofei was even more embarrassed. He, Lin Ruofei, was the most outstanding true disciple of sacred land in the early days. However, over the years, the only thing he cared about was Mu Yuqing alone. After carefully folding the letter and putting it in his sleeve, Lin Ruofei opened the door of the bedroom. Feeling very quiet today, Lin Ruofei frowned strangely. In the early morning on weekdays, there are many sisters and sisters calling my name at the foot of the mountain. Why is it so clean today? Lin Ruofei secretly shook his head. Seeing his own junior brother Wang Tang, he hurried up the mountain and said eagerly, "Senior brother, our emperor of Bei Xuantian is here. In the entire sacred land, all the 300,000 disciples have gone to see the emperor, you should go too." Lin Ruofei suddenly realized when he heard the words, it turned out that the emperor was here, no wonder today is so different. Lin Ruofei followed Wang Tang to the great hall at the beginning of the main peak. Before entering the door, a low voice could be heard. It turns out that this is the emperor husband of our Bei Xuantian. He really looks like an immortal, and his temperament is unparalleled. De Fu is so handsome, his eyes are so charming. De Fu is my male god. All kinds of male and female disciples let out a sigh, which made Lin Ruofei suddenly stunned. Even an outstanding genius like him has never received such warm praise from his fellow students at sacred land. Enter quickly. Raising his head, Lin Ruofei saw a man with a face like a crown of jade and a fairy-like temperament sitting in the center of the high platform. He just sat there motionless, and there was a great brilliance, as if the heaven and the earth existed with him as the center. It's unbelievable that someone in the world is so handsome. Lin Ruofei couldn't help showing a hint of shame. Over the years, he has been held by Sacred Land's senior and junior sisters, and he has long believed that his own appearance is unique in the world. Unexpectedly, the first time he saw Lin Zan, he was deeply shocked. However, For Lin Zan's appearance, Lin Ruofei only envied, but did not have any jealousy or resentment. In his opinion, a man who can become the queen of Xuanbing should have such a peerless appearance. Turning his eyes, seeing Mu Yuqing sitting beside Lin Zan, Lin Ruofei couldn't help shaking his head and sighing. He could see that Lin Zan kept the distance he should have towards Mu Yuqing. In Mu Yuqing's eyes, there is boundless admiration for Lin Zan. It was the first time that Lin Ruofei saw Mu Yuqing have such an expression. This made him lose his mind for a while. Yuqing is easily attracted to outstanding men at her age, not to mention that she is surrounded by a peerless talent like Di Fu. If I confessed to her now, she would definitely refuse without hesitation. After all, the man beside her is too dazzling, how could she like me? Thinking of this, Lin Ruofei hid the love letter in his sleeve deeply. Don't humiliate yourself. Take a deep breath. With a look of respect, Lin Ruofei walked to the center of the great hall and gave Lin Zan a salute. Meet the emperor. Guan Yuyun, the holy master of sacred land in the very beginning, was sitting on the left of Lin Zan and said with a smile. Di Fu, he is Lin Ruofei, the most outstanding true disciple of our sacred land for nearly 3,000 years. Lin Zan smiled politely. It does look like a talent. Di Fu is praised. Lin Ruofei was flattered for a while. Compared to Di Fu, it's too mediocre. Mu Yuqing smiled secretly. This Lin Ruofei is also an arrogant person on weekdays, but he did not expect to be so humble and low-key in front of his cousin-in-law. It seems that even if his cousin-in-law treats each other politely, Lin Ruofei still knows very well how far he is from his cousin-in-law. Seeing that everyone had arrived, Guan Yuyun smiled at Lin Zan. Emperor, then our assessment today will officially begin. Lin Zan nodded slightly. Yes. Guan Yuyun looked at Mu Yuqing again. Yuqing, come first. Mu Yuqing was the emperor's sister-in-law and a member of the royal family of Xuanbing Palace, so she should be ranked first. Mu Yuqing nodded, got up and walked to the martial arts platform in the center of the great hall. Auntie, come on, you are the best. Auntie, I'm optimistic about you. Auntie must do it. Auntie, Xiaoju and I will cheer you on together. Hearing the children's encouragement, Mu Yuqing first smiled happily, and then her face froze slightly. The nine-headed python in Xuanyu's hand, she never wanted to touch it again in her life. This bear child actually stuffed such a terrifying snake demon into her. Just after Mu Yuqing stepped onto the stage, Guan Yuyun's rich voice sounded. There are 4 realms in the world of Kendo. First stage, the realm of art. The sword technique is proficient, the sword technique is subtle, and the swords are gathered together to become a trend. Second stage, the realm of meaning. The sword intent is small, the vision is manifested, and the heart and sword have no trace. Third stage, the realm of the heart. The heart of the sword is condensed, the heart of the sword is immortal, and the heart of the sword is immortal. The fourth stage, the realm of Tao. Without me there is no sword, without the sword there is no Tao, without me there is no Tao. This fourth stage realm corresponds to an assessment, and passing it means reaching this realm. After he finished speaking, a blue light lit up on the martial arts stage. In the blue light, thousands of white lights flickered and flew away, like a small sword formation. The first assessment, the realm of art, needs to break through 100,000 swords to be considered a success. Xuanju and the others hurriedly asked Lin Zan, Dad, what does this first assessment mean? Lin Zan smiled and said, that is to say, if this sword formation is broken, the assessment will be successful. Oh. The little girls nodded, feeling that this first assessment was quite interesting. In the meantime, Mu Yuqing has already started the assessment. As the sword blades fluttered, she held the Qingluan sword, diffusing countless offensives with celestial immortals. In just half a stick of incense, she shattered all the white light and pierced the blue light with one sword. Bang! The blue light burst, and the sword formation was eliminated. Guan Yuyun nodded with satisfaction. The first test, pass. Yeah, Auntie is awesome. The 4 little girls danced and cheered for Mu Yuqing. Her cute appearance was loved by everyone present. After they were quiet, Guan Yuyun continued. Next, the second assessment, the realm of meaning, turns the sword into a sword with meaning and penetrates the target thousands of miles away to be considered a success. A mysterious golden light appeared around the Yanwu platform. In an instant, Mu Yuqing's world seemed to be reshaped. You can see the golden light rippling slightly like water waves. And Mu Yuking inside seemed to have entered a new world. Dad, is Auntie trapped? Xuanxi asked nervously. Lin Zan shook his head. It's not that she is trapped, but the space around her has changed. This mysterious space seems to be very small, but it is actually very large, a bit similar to what we know about shrinking into an inch. Xuanzhu nodded after listening. So in this world, things that look close to Auntie are actually very far away. Smart. Lin Zan fondly rubbed her little head. Actually, this is a space-time formation. Oh, Xuanxi, Xuanan and Xuanyu really understood. Between words, in front of Mu Yuking, a small white spot of light appeared. The spot of light was revolving around her at an extremely fast speed. And according to the formation Mu Yuking was in, this light spot was at least 1,000 miles away from her. Intention to become a sword. It is necessary for Mu Yuking to turn sword intent into sword chi and smash this white light. Then, after Mu Yuking closed her eyes for a short period of time and meditated, a blue light condensed on her pale white jade finger. Go! Mu Yuking stretched out his jade finger like lightning and shot the sword chi out. Bang! The white light was precisely hit and disappeared instantly. Yeah, Auntie succeeded again. The little girls were dancing again. Even to celebrate, they danced a butterfly dance together, like 4 cute little butterflies flying. The cute appearance attracted more than 300,000 people present. Only Mu Yuking looked a little dignified at the moment. Cousin reached the 3rd stage at the age of 14. I want to follow her and pass the 3rd stage today. Mu Yuking has regarded Dongwang Zio as her idol since she was a child. Today, she wants to learn from idols, break through the 3rd stage assessment, and become a real Kendo powerhouse. Guan Yuyun nodded in satisfaction. The time used by Mu Yuking for the first 2 assessments was almost the same as that of Dongwang Zio back then. This also proves that her Kendo talent is also top-notch. Next, the 3rd stage assessment, the realm of the heart. Condensing the heart of the sword, turning it into a divine sword, and cutting the brocade in front of you is considered a success. The golden space-time formation on the martial arts platform was withdrawn, and only a piece of golden brocade cloth was suspended in front of Mu Yuking. This brocade fabric looks extremely light, floating in the air like water waves. However, for those present, the assessment of this level is very difficult. Even Lin Ruofei fell on this level again and again. In the very beginning, Sacred Land has been practicing for 300 years, and he has failed 4 tests. Therefore, even he couldn't help but secretly nervous. I don't know if Yu Qing will be able to pass this level smoothly. Mu Yuking quietly stared at the brocade in front of her. Then he slowly closed his eyes and immersed himself in the swordsmanship. Her hands were folded together and began to condense spiritual thoughts. The so-called state of the heart is the sword of the heart. With Yuenshin as the cornerstone and mental energy as the sharpening stone, the Yuenshin can be cut. Condensing the heart sword requires not only a very strong primordial spirit and mental energy, but also a great deal of pressure on the body. Moreover, after condensing the heart sword, the brocade in front of him has to be cut open. This is equivalent to integrating the invisible mental energy with the visible sword chi, which is so difficult to imagine. Therefore, Mu Yuking did not dare to slack off in the slightest, and tried his best to gather his heart and sword. Just saw the golden light flickering in her hands. It turned into a thick liquid light, and condensed the shape of the hilt according to her intention. Guan Yuyun, Lin Ruofei and others nodded silently upon seeing this. Being able to condense the handle of the heart sword so quickly, Mu Yuking is indeed very talented. Bang! Unfortunately, after the blink of an eye, the heart sword in Mu Yuking's hand was broken. At this time, Mu Yuking's pretty face was already pale, and thin beads of sweat fell on her forehead. It failed as soon as the hilt was condensed. Mu Yuking gritted her silver teeth in anger. She shook her head helplessly. It seems that the gap between herself and the queen's cousin is really not that big. Without thinking any more, she hurriedly concentrated her heart sword for the 2nd time. But due to the consumption of a lot of mental energy for the first time and her physical exhaustion, she couldn't even condense the hilt this time. Then, she forcibly tried the 3rd and 4th times, all of which ended in failure. Ah! Mu Yuking felt weak all over, and shook her head helplessly. Too difficult. It's so hard. Seeing this, Guan Yuyun shook his head helplessly. In the past 10,000 years, only 2 people in Sacred Land in the very beginning had condensed their heart swords at one time and passed the 3rd test. One of them is his holy master. The other one, of course, is the eternal Empress Dongwang Zhao. Speaking of which, the time for Dongwang Zhao to condense the sword is shorter than him, talent is still above him. Yu King is not an empress after all, and miracles will never happen again. Guan Yuyun looked regretful. Yu Qing, you are still young, and you still have a lot of time to hone your swordsmanship. With your talent, I believe you will soon be able to make breakthroughs. Guan Yuyun then comforted. A trace of unwillingness appeared on Mu Yuking's face. She could feel that she was only one step away from success. But this step, to go on her own, is like a moat. Shaking his head helplessly, Mu Yuking walked off the stage. And seeing that she was about to leave the scene as a failure, Xuanju and the 4 little girls quit. Before coming, the 4 of them gave their aunt gifts, wishing her success. If the aunt fails, doesn't it mean that the gifts and blessings they send are useless? Thinking of this, the little girls felt unacceptable. Xuanju quickly grabbed Lin Zan's hand and shook it. Dad, your swordsmanship is so good, please help Auntie. Xuanxi nodded fiercely. Yes, Auntie is very smart and hardworking, she will definitely succeed as soon as Daddy makes a move. Xuanan agrees very much. Even my mother has praised my aunt's talent. Zanyu pressed the 9-headed Tianmeng's head and let it nod with herself. Yes, Xiaoju and I think so too. Seeing that her daughters wanted to help Mu Yuking so much, Lin Zan knew that she had to help. Of course, the most important thing was that he could see that Mu Yuking was only a little short of success. If you give her a just right tip, she will definitely be successful. Before Lin Zan could answer the daughters, Guan Yuyun got up and said. De Fu, we at Sacred Land hone our swordsmanship by comprehending and exploring over time. Rua De Fu has some better ways to help Yu Qing. He thought to himself that since Lin Zan could become the man of Empress Zanbing, maybe his swordsmanship was at the level of a monster. After all, the female emperor's Kendo talent is a pervert. Being able to become her husband and being highly respected by the children, Lin Zan will definitely do a lot in Kendo. Maybe his suggestions would not only help Mu Yuking, but also help the more than 300,000 disciples present to make progress. Seeing that the Holy Master of Sacred Land said so at the beginning, Lin Zan looked at Mu Yuking. Then I will give you 8 characters. Mu Yuking was overjoyed to hear that. She wanted to ask Lin Zan for help just now, but there were so many people present that she was too embarrassed to speak. Fortunately, Xuanju and the others spoke to the Holy Master in the beginning, so that she could get help from Lin Zan naturally. My cousin-in-law has a calm expression on his face, he will definitely be able to help me achieve a breakthrough. Mu Yuking then nodded happily, waiting for Lin Zan to speak. At this time, the entire Great Hall was quiet. Everyone is also waiting for Lin Zan to speak. Lin Zan said indifferently, your talent is very good, but just now you were so focused on success that you became restless and fell short. So, the 8 words I want to give you are, unfettered, you will be free. These 8 characters come from Wuji's sword technique. It looks simple and easy to understand. But in fact, if there is no powerful talent, it will not be so easy. The so-called Tao to simplicity, the more simple and shallow the truth, in actual application, but more difficult to start. However, Lin Zan was convinced that these 8 words would definitely be of great help to Mu Yuking. Sure enough, after hearing these 8 words, Mu Yuking just recited it secretly, and her beautiful eyes lit up. I understand. My cousin-in-law just told me not to have any thoughts, just do whatever I want. Unrestrained, this kind of plain and true state of mind is what I currently lack the most. Mu Yuking was overjoyed and quickly closed her eyes. Forget everything around you and give up all rules and constraints. Just want to be unrestrained and forget about myself. Call. A golden light illuminated the entire Great Hall. In her jade hand, a pure golden divine sword more than 10 feet long condensed. This is her heart sword and the sword of the primordial spirit. As a true chi and the heart sword fused together, Mu Yuking slashed down with one sword, splitting the brocade in front of him in half. Success. Mu Yuking opened her eyes, and 2 extremely fierce sword intents bloomed through her dark eyes. Except for Lin Zan and Guan Yuyun, the holy master of the beginning, everyone dared not look at each other under her pressing sword intent. After a brief silence, the great hall was filled with admiration for a while. Di Fu's mantra is really powerful, but unfortunately my talent is too low to understand the essence of it. It doesn't matter if you can't comprehend it. How lucky you and I are to be able to listen to the mantra of the emperor. The disciples, both men and women present, immediately fell in admiration for Lin Zan. Lin Ruofei shook his head and smiled bitterly. The mantra of Emperor Fu's 8-character mantra made Yu Qing immediately reach the 3rd stage of Kendo, and I have yet to understand the essence of it. This time, Di Fu has completely made me understand how many obstacles there are between me and Yu Qing. Lin Ruofei was bitter in his heart, but he had no hatred for Lin Zan. The only thought is to work hard to learn from the emperor. Even if he can't become an excellent man like Emperor Fu, as long as he can reach his level of 11 or 2, his life will not be in vain. As for the entire sacred land in the beginning, the one who had the deepest understanding of Lin Zan's 8-character mantra was, of course, the Holy Master in the beginning. The 8 characters of Emperor Fu were really great wisdom. Guan Yuyun had already stepped into the realm of the heart 3,500 years ago. But in the ensuing years, the Kendo attainment has not been a big breakthrough. Hearing these 8 words from Lin Zan, he had an epiphany. He originally thought that Kendo is actually the way of killing, and the pursuit is the ultimate attack power. One grass and one tree can cut the sun and moon stars. A single hair can break the ages. However, Lin Zan's words subverted the traditional understanding of Kendo, which made people feel like a hut. Guan Yuyun is convinced that as long as he continues to comprehend and experience this mantra, he will be able to break through the realm of the heart and touch the realm of the highest Tao. Originally, I thought that in this life, apart from the master, I would never meet other nobles again. Now it seems that the emperor is also my great noble. Guan Yuyun looked at Lin Zan with deep admiration and awe in his eyes. Seeing that Mu Yuqing successfully passed the test, everyone present was full of admiration for Lin Zan. Xuanzhu and the others were extremely happy. Daddy is the best. Yep, yes, yes. The little girls climbed to Lin Zan's side one after another, hugging his face like a mess of kisses. Feeling the coolness on his face, Lin Zan raised his brows. Well, the daughters washed their faces again. Mu Yuqing has reached the realm of the heart, and the next realm of the Tao will take a long time to hone, and she knows that she cannot complete it. In order not to delay other people's assessment, she walked off the martial arts stage and came to Lin Zan with a smile. Cousin-in-law, don't say thank you for your kindness, just give me your orders in the future. Lin Zan smiled slightly. My family doesn't need to be so polite. Mu Yuqing nodded. The calm attitude of my cousin-in-law is indeed full of charm. Next, the examination continues. Mu Yuqing took this opportunity to tell Lin Zan the rules of sacred land in the beginning. According to tradition, Mu Yuqing needed to wait until after everyone's assessment was over before Mu Yuqing accepted the canonization of sacred land. Because reaching the realm of the heart is equivalent to a sword sect. You can start a school and create your own Kendo sect. This is a great honor to be looked upon and blessed by the entire sacred land disciples. How long do you have to wait? Yeah, so boring. As soon as the little girls heard it, they lost their interest and continued to stay in the great hall. They are here to cheer for my aunt. Now that my aunt has succeeded, it will be really boring to wait any longer. Lin Zan said dotingly, how about daddy take you to play outside? Okay. The 4 little girls suddenly lit up. Mu Yuqing said, I know that there is a mountain in sacred land that is very interesting, why don't I take you there? According to the rules of the sacred land in the early days, named disciples can move freely after the assessment. Mu Yuqing is also a playful character, so she hit it off with the little girls. After greeting Guan Yuyun, she left Great Hall with Lin Zan and the children. After Lin Zan and the others left, the assessment continued. About half an hour later, an extremely majestic sword chi suddenly poured in from outside the Great Hall. After this sword chi appeared, everyone present was shocked. What a strong sword chi! Even Guan Yuyun couldn't help but shrink his pores. With the strength of sword chi, he has never encountered anyone other than master in his life. According to his guess, the Comer's Kendo attainments are higher than his, and he is only a foot away from the realm of the Tao. However, according to the rules of Kendo, reaching the state of the heart of the third stage is the sword sect, and reaching the state of the fourth stage is the sword fairy. In other words, the visitor is a quasi-sword fairy. This is really scary. Looking up, I saw a slender figure walking through the door. He was wearing a black robe, his face was carved with a knife, and his eyes were extremely sharp. A wild sword chi lingers all over the body, which makes one cannot help but stare at him. Brother, Guan Yuyun exclaimed. The man at the door was his senior brother Yuan Shao, who left Sacred Land angrily 800 years ago. Yuan Shao's sword eyes scanned the audience coldly. Anyone who made eye contact with him immediately lowered their heads and did not dare to look at him at all. It hasn't been 800 years, the disciples of this sacred land are really getting worse from one generation to the next. Yuan Shao snorted coldly. Guan Yuyun, you are a good holy master. Guan Yuyun knew that Yuan Shao was a bad visitor this time. However, after all, he was a former classmate. He still treated each other with courtesy. I don't know why my brother came here today. Before Yuan Shao could answer, thousands of people swarmed into the great hall in the beginning. These people are all sword intent flashes, and at first glance they are masters in sword repair. Their cultivation bases are also near the venerable realm, and the lowest one also has the cultivation base in the middle stage of the divine soul realm. After everyone arrived, Yuan Shao raised his hand and pointed at the people who followed. These people are all the heads of our sword sects ranked within 1000 in Bei Xuantian. Today, I'm going to make a break with our previous agreement in front of them with you. Agreement? Guan Yuyun looked surprised. What agreement? Humph. Don't pretend to be stupid. Yuan Shao angrily said, did you forget that you and I had a dispute about Kendo? When he said this, Guan Yuyun suddenly realized. More than 800 years ago, he and Yuan Shao were the most outstanding true disciples of Sacred Land. However, the two have opposite opinions on Kendo. Guan Yuyun felt that although Kendo is the way of killing, the most important thing is to seek sword chi to be restrained and stabilize the heart of the sword. Yuan Shao, on the other hand, believed that since it was the way to kill, he had to show his arrogance and let sword chi go out completely without anger. Because of this, the two had a huge disagreement, and the matter also went to the headmaster. Because the headmaster supported Guan Yuyun's point of view, Yuan Shao felt that he had been hit hard and lost his mind. But before leaving, he swore in front of Guan Yuyun and the headmaster that he would definitely prove them wrong. Guan Yuyun got angry for a while, and made an agreement with him that sooner or later the two would have a showdown to prove who is the real swordsman. And this difference is more than 800 years. Guan Yuyun pursued Kendo wholeheartedly, but he forgot about it. Unexpectedly, Yuan Shao has always been obsessed with this. Finally, he brought Bei Xuantian's sword sect master to compete with him. Senior brother, everyone's opinions on Kendo are very different, but our goal is the same. Guan Yuyun said politely. You and I used to be from the same family, why did you make such a fuss over this matter? Yuan Shao said disdainfully, stop talking nonsense. Today you and I have to make a decision. Seeing that Guan Yuyun didn't want to compete, Lin Ruofei thought that as a senior brother of Sacred Land, he should speak for his own master. He stepped forward and saluted, Uncle Shi, my teacher respects him. He is obsessed with cultivation and enlightenment. He is not a person who is competitive. But that's who I am. Yuan Shao sneered, pinched a sword chi with his right finger, and slammed Lin Ruofei flying more than 10 feet away. Guan Yuyun, I even beat your disciples, don't you want to shoot? Guan Yuyun's face froze, showing a hint of anger. As the saying goes, don't slap a smiling face, let alone a junior. Senior brother, you are going too far. Yuan Shao sneered, I have to complete the agreement with you today. If you don't do it, then I can only force you to do it. After he finished speaking, he squeezed out another sword chi, and it seemed that he wanted to do something to the other disciples. Guan Yuyun frowned and sighed heavily. Forget it, since you want to compare, let's compare. Call. He released the boundless sword chi in his body, and after drawing out his natal flying sword, Yu Jian flew to the center of the great hall. Seeing this, Yuan Shao couldn't help but smile proudly, that's right. He drew out a Hunyuan sword chi, and burst into Guan Yuyun with a terrifying momentum. In the beginning, in the northwest of Great Hall, on a mountaintop 50,000 miles away. Covered in silver, there is thick snow everywhere. But unlike other peaks, the terrain here is quite flat and quite suitable for playing here. Mu Yuking brought Lin Zan and the children here. Daddy, we want to play snowman. On weekdays, the Crystal Palace was spotlessly cleaned, and the little girls never had the chance to build a snowman. Seeing that there is thick snow here, they suddenly became interested. Okay, Daddy will pile it up with you. Lin Zan immediately took his 4 daughters and squatted in the snow to build a snowman. Mu Yuking helped them find tools and quickly built a big snowman. Next, the little girls were very interested and wanted to build all kinds of snowmen. Lin Zan let them do it by themselves and pile it up according to their own ideas. In the words of the Perfect Daddy tutorial, this is to give children sufficient space for self-creation and to use their imagination and creativity. Seeing that the children were having a good time, Lin Zan stepped aside and found a stone to lean on to bask in the sun. Not long. Call out. A snowball flew over. Lin Zan smiled slightly, his body moved slightly, and he avoided snowball. Oh, Daddy is so powerful, he was avoided by him. Xuanju stomped her feet angrily. It turned out that when she saw Lin Zan lying there, she was afraid that Lin Zan would be bored, so she deliberately teased him with a snowball. Seeing this, Xuanju also rolled out a snowball and threw it at Lin Zan. I'm coming. Lin Zan dodged the snowball with a single dodge. Ah, no. Xuanju shook her head helplessly. Xuanyu, let's see how Daddy hides together. Xuanan and Xuanyu also rubbed a big snowball and threw it at Lin Zan together. However, Lin Zan easily escaped. Oh, I still can't throw Daddy. Daddy doesn't seem to move, why can't he throw it away? The little girls all looked puzzled. One by one frowning and pouting small mouth expressions, it looks really cute. Seeing that the daughters were teasing him, Lin Zan shipped out a spiritual chi and rolled 4 snowballs at them at the same time. Wrapped in spiritual chi, the snowball hit the girls' belly just right, knocking them gently to the ground. Beep beep. The 4 little girls were all sitting on the ground with their butts on the ground, and their adorable appearance made Lin Zan burst into laughter. Oh, Daddy is really bad, he was thrown into someone's house all of a sudden. Yeah, we can't throw him at all. The little girls felt hurt. Seeing this, Lin Zan certainly wouldn't let his daughters lose confidence. What children need most is the encouragement of their parents. So Lin Zan gave Mu Yuking a look, and Mu Yuking said understandingly. Babies, if you keep throwing it, you will definitely hit your dad. Hearing this, the 4 little girls showed a fighting spirit one after another. Yes, my mother said that one must know how to persevere when doing things. So the 4 little girls rolled out a snowball and threw it at Lin Zan at the same time. This time, Lin Zan deliberately did not hide. When Snowball entered the invincible forbidden area, and was crushed, he deliberately shouted and fell to the ground. Wow, it really worked. Being able to throw such a powerful father made the 4 little girls full of pride. Lin Zan pretended not to stand up to make the little girls more happy. However, the little girls were very filial, and they became worried when they found that Lin Zan didn't get up. Xuanju showed a trace of nervousness. Why doesn't Daddy get up? Is it hurt by the snowball? Xuanxi thought for a while, then nodded. It's possible. Xuanan clasped her hands tightly together. Then what should I do? Zanyu stomped her feet and pulled her 3 sisters. Let's go and have a look. The 4 little girls came to Lin Zan, squatted beside him and looked at them. Lin Zan suddenly opened his eyes, smiled and hugged the 4 little girls in his arms. Xuanju and the others understood immediately. It turned out that Daddy was deliberately deceiving himself. Daddy is so naughty, he actually lied. Yes, it turns out that I was so naughty because I learned it from my father. The little girls were both surprised and happy, and Zanyu found a good excuse for being naughty. And this time, ding, the system sound in Lin Zan's head sounded again. You and your daughters completed a happy and exciting snowball fight. Reward, good fortune magic pill. I rely on, this is also okay. Lin Zan didn't expect that he would get another superb reward just by playing a snowball fight with his daughters. Follow the system's explanation. The good fortune elixir is the medicine pill of the top grade of the Holy Order. With this medicine pill, anyone can be brought back to life within the first 7 of their death. That is to say, even if the soul is scattered. As long as he dies for no more than 7 days, this good fortune elixir can bring him back to life. This is definitely a heaven-defying elixir. Lin Zan felt that the system was too embarrassing, and the rewards given were as generous as ever. Put the good fortune pill in the inventory of the system, and Lin Zan stood up with his daughters in his arms. The little girls were frightened by Lin Zan just now, and they were very sticky to him at the moment. All of them held Lin Zan tightly with their small hands, for fear that he would run away. Even if Mu Yuking came over, they were unwilling to leave Lin Zan into her arms. Cousin-in-law, these kids are so clingy to you, I'm really envious. Mu Yuking was full of admiration. Lin Zan smiled slightly, with the perfect dad system by his side, these kids can't even stick to themselves. Bang! Just as the two were talking and laughing, 2 bright sword rays suddenly burst out from the top of Great Hall in the distance. It can be clearly seen that the 2 sword rays are obviously different, and obviously come from different people. Mu Yuking frowned. Could it be that something happened to Sacred Land? Lin Zan nodded. It looks like something happened. Mu Yuking said anxiously, then let's go and see. In the beginning, Sacred Land was famous in Beishwantian. If something happened, it would be no small matter. Afterwards, Lin Zan and her took the children and quickly returned to the Great Hall in the beginning. And this moment, after thousands of fights, Guan Yuyun finally lost to Yuan Shao. Within the Great Hall, the 300,000 Sacred Land disciples were in mourning. They could not have imagined that at the door of their own house, they had witnessed the defeat of the master and master with their own eyes. At this moment, Guan Yuyun's clothes were broken and his hands were shaking. He resisted the pain and said, "Senior brother, I am defeated." Yuan Shao still looked extremely sharp, nodded and said, "I have proven myself to thousands of sword sects in Beishwantian, and now, you are also defeated by me. I ask you, in Beishwantian now, is my Kendo attainment the highest?" Guan Yuyun thought for a while, then shook his head and said, "It's true that I lost to you, but I'm not qualified to evaluate your swordsmanship." "Who is qualified then?" Yuan Shao asked hurriedly. Guan Yuyun slowly spit out 2 words, "Emperor." Dev. Yuan Shao and the thousands of sword sect leaders he brought over were all shocked. Guan Yuyun nodded. "Yes, it is the husband of our Empress Beishwantian." As soon as he finished speaking, there was a slight sound of footsteps outside the door. Yuan Shao and others quickly turned to look. Only in the sun. A man dressed in white, looks like a god, with 4 cute porcelain dolls, and a young and beautiful woman walked into the door. Guan Yuyun hurriedly stepped forward to salute. Defu. All the disciples of Sacred Land in the early days also saluted Lin Zan. This scene made Yuan Shao and others stunned. Unexpectedly, the appearance of the emperor was so transcendent and refined, and he was indeed the man of the Queen of Xuanbing. Yuan Shao and others hurriedly stepped forward and saluted. "I have seen the emperor." Lin Zan nodded slightly, and his eyes swept across Yuan Shao. The sword chi revealed by Yuan Shao was too sharp and majestic. If Lin Zan didn't have the passive magic, invincible forbidden zone, the children beside him would definitely be eroded by sword chi. "It's not a good thing for your sword chi to be too outspoken," Lin Zan said lightly. Guan Yuyun was slightly overjoyed when he heard this. It seemed that the emperor did not agree with Yuan Shao's swordsmanship. This made Guan Yuyun feel like he was defeated but still proud. Yuan Shao's face froze slightly. It seems that he can't get into the eyes of the emperor. He could feel that although Lin Zan did not look like a mountain or water, his words and deeds were full of the style of a strong man. Today, Emperor Fu also does not agree with own Kendo. It seems that if you want to become the #1 swordsman in Beishwantian, you still need to get the emperor to nod. Thinking like this, Yuan Shao nodded respectfully. What the emperor said is reasonable, but the swordsmanship pursued in the next life is the ultimate domineering. Yeah, Lin Zan nodded slightly. Everyone's pursuit is different, that's understandable. Yuan Shao couldn't help showing a hint of awe when he heard the words. Emperor Fu's words are like the insights of a superior after looking down at all living beings. This kind of transcendent bearing, most people can't learn it. Mu Yuking had long seen the torn clothes on Guan Yuyun's body, and immediately understood that he and Yuan Shao must have tried it. He couldn't help but sighed. "Holy Master, it seems that you have already lost to this senior." Guan Yuyun smiled and waved his hand. it doesn't matter, as long as the emperor is there, the truth of Kendo is there. Mu Yuking nodded. Her cousin's husband's insights into Kendo were indeed insightful. Although Guan Yuyan's words are a bit exaggerated, it doesn't seem too absurd when applied to his cousin-in-law. She smiled slightly at Yuan Shao. Senior, the emperor has given you a step down just now, why don't you take it while it's good? Yuan Shao shook his head. This princess has been waiting for more than 800 years, just to prove herself today. I don't intend to offend the emperor, but if I can't verify my swordsmanship, my life will be worse than death in the future. Mu Yuking opened her mouth when she heard the words, this person is really stubborn. In that case, I will fulfill you. Lin Zan walked forward with a faint smile. Yuan Shao's dedication to Kendo is admirable. But if you take the wrong path, you will inevitably harm others in the future. Now that he has encountered it, Lin Zan doesn't mind helping him understand the true meaning of Kendo correctly. Of course, the most important thing is that Yuan Shao is a very good example, able to let the daughters fully understand what Kendo is. Lin Zan decided to take this opportunity to plant a seed of Kendo in the hearts of the children. Let them not go the wrong way in the future Kendo cultivation, and keep moving forward. Please enlighten me. Yuan Shao smiled slightly. Lin Zan said indifferently. I don't use the cultivation base, I just use my fingers as swords and make 3 swords in a row. As long as you can block once or counterattack once in the process, even if you win. Mu Yuking, Guan Yuyun and others were all secretly shocked when they heard the words. Don't use cultivation base, just use your fingers as a sword, this is to defeat Yuan Shao with the purest sword. Looking at the entire Bei Xuantian, I am afraid that no one dares to treat Yuan Shao so arrogantly. After thinking about it, he is indeed an emperor, with such audacity and means, it is indeed very unusual. Yuan Shao had a serious look on his face. If the emperor could say that, he must be confident. It seems that I really encountered a real Kendo expert today. Okay, let the emperor make a move. Yuan Shao didn't dare to neglect, he used his true energy with all his strength, and paid attention to Lin Zan intently. The two were less than 10 feet apart at the moment, and Yuan Shao almost kept a single strand of Lin Zan's hair under surveillance. The first sword. Lin Zan's expression was indifferent, the index finger and middle finger of his right hand came together and stabbed out towards Yuan Shao. Call. Obviously it was a very casual shot, but what everyone saw was a kind of treacherous and erratic. And, the speed is astonishingly fast. Yuan Shao frowned and quickly blocked with his sword. But immediately he felt empty in front of him, and a gust of wind rushed towards his heart. Not good. As soon as he finished speaking, Yuan Shao felt a slight tingling in his heart. When he looked down, Lin Zan's fingers had already touched his heart. If it was replaced by a sword, Yuan Shao would definitely be dead by now. Horrible. The emperor's sword move seems to be plain, but it is so amazingly successful, it is incredible. Guan Yuyun and the others couldn't help but be amazed. Lin Zan smiled slightly. With the Wuji sword technique, there are many ways to deal with Yuan Shao. Second sword. After Yuan Shao recovered, Lin Zan made another move. Call. This time, Yuan Shao stabbed his sword quickly, trying to force Lin Zan to retreat by attacking instead of defending. Who knew that in the light and flint, his throat was numb. Looking down, Lin Zan's fingers had already pressed against his throat. Yuan Shao couldn't help swallowing his saliva, and exclaimed in his heart, "Oh my God." He felt that his own worldview was about to shatter. Come again. Yuan Shao roared and unleashed all his potential. Just block once, or hit Defu once, and he can win. He didn't believe it, he really was completely helpless in front of the emperor. Call. However, just after the blink of an eye, Yuan Shao's forehead was sore. Lin Zan's fingers were directly on the center of his forehead. Yuan Shao only felt a buzzing in his head. It exploded with a bang, and swallowed a few mouthfuls of saliva again. 3 swords have passed, is there anything else you want to say? Lin Zan retracted his fingers and glanced at Yuan Shao in a relaxed manner. This. Yuan Shao was in a hurry, and a trace of blood spilled from the corner of his mouth. He didn't expect that the sword could be used like this. There is no need to smash violently. It seems that the clouds are light and the wind is light, but it shows a sense of overbearing control over all life and death. This kind of swordsmanship, He simply didn't dare to think about it before. And seeing that Lin Zan only made 3 shots, he stabbed Yuan Shao's 3 Achilles heels respectively. Guan Yuyun and everyone else felt that today was a complete eye-opener. The Emperor's Kendo attainments have reached the transcendent, the realm of returning to the basics. His swordsmanship is the real way. After calming down, Yuan Shao wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and saluted with respect and awe. The Emperor's teaching today is like a thunderbolt, which makes me wake up suddenly. It turns out that Kendo is not the pursuit of domineering, but the unpretentious and elegant like the Emperor. The sword sect leaders who followed him also nodded silently. Di Fu's 3 moves just now perfectly interpret this kind of Kendo that is simple and true. Lin Zan shook his head. What you see is still only a part of Kendo. The way of the sword, you can pursue domineering exposure, or you can pursue accumulation. But the most important thing is the Tao, not the sword. No matter how majestic sword qi is, it is not stronger than an eternal sword heart. After you have tempered your own heart, everything can be a sword, and all qi can be sword qi. After he said those words, there was a moment of silence. Everything can be a sword. All qi is sword qi. These 2 short sentences, like a fairy touching the top, made everyone feel like they were infected by the ethereal avenue. It turns out that Kendo can still be understood in this way. The Emperor's words really woke up the dreamer. It's no wonder that Holy Master Guan said that when the Emperor is there, the truth of Kendo is there. This is really true. After a short silence, the audience roared in amazement. Lin Zan's words contain philosophy, and in the eyes of everyone, it is really a great wisdom. Lin Zan had a panoramic view of everyone's expressions, and couldn't help shaking his head and smiling. Unexpectedly, just taking out 2 sentences in Wuji sword technique can make these people so admire. It seems that the system really treats you well, and owning a dad's life is getting more and more fragrant. It's a blessing for 3 lifetimes to be able to hear diffuse insightful insights. Yuan Shao's face finally showed a hint of joy. He said with certainty that as long as the Emperor's words were well understood and absorbed. In the future, I will definitely be able to break the shackles and reach a higher realm of Kendo. Daddy can not only be a teacher for us, but also a teacher for many people. Seeing that Lin Zan's words awakened everyone, Zanzu happily hugged Lin Zan's arm with a proud face. Yes, I am so proud to be with Daddy. Xuanxi squeezed out 2 cute little dimples on her face, and raised her chin to hug Lin Zan's arm. Xuanan and Xuanyu also got together and hugged Lin Zan. The 4 little girls had extremely proud eyes. It's like saying, look, this is our daddy. Everyone present was amused by the 4 little girls. But if you think about it carefully, if you can have such a powerful father when you were a child, you must be so proud. Yuan Shao then hugged Guan Yuyun cupped fist and said, Senior brother, I have been digging the horns all these years. If there is no guidance from the Emperor, I am afraid that qi deviation will be necessary. I think at the beginning, I left sacred land for a moment, which greatly hurt you and your master. If you don't dislike it, I think I will stay in sacred land for the rest of my life as a sweeper. This is not only to punish myself, but also to repent for the mistakes I made. Guan Yuyun's face became happy when he heard the words. He shook his head and said, Senior brother, don't want to see outsiders. In fact, neither master nor I have ever blamed you. Since senior brother, you want to stay, then stay. Thank you. Yuan Shao was moved for a while. He first bowed to Lin Zan, and then to Guan Yuyun. Seeing that the trip to sacred land came to a successful conclusion, Lin Zan also had no intention of staying any longer, and left with Mu Yuking with their 4 daughters. Congratulations to the Emperor. After a congratulatory farewell, everyone raised their heads and saw that Lin Zan and the others had left. In the sun, dressed in white, she was white and snow white, with a dashing and elegant look that made one couldn't help but admire her. Outside the Crystal Palace, Dongwang Zio was wearing a purple gold robe, like a bewitching purple rose. The faint golden light of the setting sun shone on her body, making her feel like a dreamer. His Majesty. Before entering the door, Dongwang Day greeted him respectfully and saluted. Dongwang Zio glanced at the invitation card in his hand, and said lightly, Tomorrow is the birthday of the princess, right? The concubine of Dongwang Day helped Dongwang Zio with children 2 years ago, so Dongwang Zio always remembers her birthday. Dongwang Day nodded with a look of flattery. Yes, I am here to send invitations today. He was very moved. Tomorrow is his princess's 30th birthday. I didn't expect Dongwang Zio to remember it so clearly. Speaking of which, Dongwang Zio is strong and cold on weekdays. But treating the tribe has always been very humane. Otherwise, with her busy schedule, how could she remember a princess's birthday? Dongwang Zio nodded slightly. I have ordered someone to prepare a generous gift, which will be delivered to your house. Thank you, Your Majesty. Dongwang Day hurriedly saluted and thanked him. Dongwang Zio said that she had no time to attend the birthday banquet, so she sent someone to give gifts. However, being able to receive the gift that Dongwang Zio personally prepared was already a great happiness and glory for Dongwang Day. Dongwang Zio nodded and walked into the Crystal Palace gate with Dongwang Day one after another. After entering the door, Dongwang Zio couldn't help but be stunned. For some reason, I want to visit Crystal Palace whenever I have time recently. When the two came to the garden in front of the bedroom, they saw 4 little babies playing there. And Lin Zan, at this time, was engrossed in making kites. As expected of an emperor, he can even make kites. He is really versatile. Dongwang Day couldn't help but admire in a low voice. Dongwang Zio's expression was calm, but he couldn't help but sigh. He is so playful. Dongwang Day didn't pay attention to Dongwang Zio's expression. He stepped forward and said with a smile, "Defu." Lin Zan raised his head. His eyes swept across Dongwang Zio's cold face, and turned to look at Dongwang Day. What are you doing here? Yes, tomorrow is the birthday of my beloved concubine. Your Majesty is busy with political affairs, so I want to invite you to a banquet with the children. Dongwang Day hurriedly sent the invitation. Okay, I'll be there. After Lin Zan accepted the invitation, he lowered his head and continued busy making kites. Dongwang Day thought that the couple must have a lot to say, so he hurriedly left. Dongwang Zio stared at Lin Zan for a long time. Seeing that Lin Zan didn't raise his head at all, he couldn't help but take a deep breath and looked up at the sky. Every time I see this guy who doesn't want to make progress, my heart will be inexplicably blocked. Gritting his silver teeth secretly, Dongwang Zio said, Lin Zan, do you want to live forever? She is already in the emperor realm. If nothing else, her lifespan is at least a few thousand years old. The 4 daughters' talent are all extremely enchanting, and she is confident that she will cultivate them into the emperor realm in the future. So the only problem now is Lin Zan. There can't be a family of 6, only he is immortal with 100 years of life. Although Lin Zan dissatisfied her in many ways, he was the biological father of the children after all, and she also hoped that he would live forever. Lin Zan nodded without thinking. Of course I do. Who doesn't want to live forever? Fortunately, Lin Zan already owns the cultivation base of the emperor realm, and living for thousands of years is like playing. This guy still has something to pursue. Dongwang Zio is like discovering a new continent, showing a rare smile, beautiful and moving. With a flick of the slender jade, a scripture and a medicine pill lingered with golden light appeared from the void. This is the Longevity Sutra, from the cultivation technique, a top-grade Tianji, and the longevity pill of the top-grade Tianji. You can increase your lifespan by taking the longevity pill while cultivating. Within 5 years, it can definitely increase the lifespan of 300 to 500 years. Lin Zan was busy at the crucial place, and didn't pay attention to what Dongwang Zio said. When the kite was ready, he raised his head and smiled slightly. What did you just say? Dongwang Zio, did this guy do it on purpose? As soon as you hear about cultivation, you don't want to accept your own. Dongwang Zio gritted his silver teeth, shook his head and said, it's nothing important, just talk about it casually. She could see that Lin Zan was resolutely unwilling to do it himself. Even if cultivating the Longevity Sutra is not tired at all, he is still unwilling to accept it. That being the case, there is no need to say anything more now. In short, he only wants to live long, and he has the time to find a way to help him increase his lifespan. It's really not good. The big deal is, come again strong. Thinking of this, Dongwang Zio felt a lot more comfortable. With his own dignified imperial realm, how could he still be able to deal with immortal Lin Zan? Seeing that she put away the Sutra of Longevity and the longevity pill, Lin Zan immediately understood Dongwang Zio's intention. He couldn't help shaking his head secretly. This woman really doesn't give up. Lin Zan will definitely not touch the cultivation thing. Isn't it a good day to take your daughter to get system rewards? How much life can be increased by cultivation? Dad, is the kite ready? At this time, the little girls all ran over excitedly. Daddy just said that he wants to make them a beautiful kite by himself. Okay. Lin Zan smiled dotingly, and tied the kite in his hand with a string. The last process is completely completed. A beautiful red butterfly kite appeared in front of the little girls. Wow, it looks really good. The little girls clapped their hands happily. The kites made by Dad are much better than those made by the craftsmen in the palace. Even Dongwang Zio secretly sighed in admiration after taking a look. Just if you like it. Lin Zan laughed with a sense of accomplishment. The kite tie I learned from the Perfect Dad tutorial is more beautiful and vivid than the kite in this world. As long as there are good materials, of course Lin Zan can make a particularly beautiful kite for the children. Father, mother, let's fly a kite together. Yes, I saw other people's fathers and mothers flying kites together. It was very fun. Xuanzhu and Xuanan pulled Lin Zan and Dongwang Zio respectively. Dongwang Zio couldn't bear to reject the children, so she nodded, okay. Lin Zan handed the kite-made round reel to Dongwang Zio. You take the reel, and I'll pull the reel. Yeah, Dongwang Zio nodded slightly. The two then worked together. Dongwang Zio slowly swayed the line reel, and Lin Zan stood in front of her and controlled the kite to fly by the line. Father, mother, hurry up. Yes, let the kite fly higher. The little girls clenched their fists to cheer them on. Lin Zan and Dongwang Zio both smiled helplessly and had no choice but to do so. Dongwang Zio accelerated her retreat. Since it was the first time she had cooperated with someone to do this, she was obviously very unfamiliar. Oops, inadvertently, she stepped on a fairy pebble in the grass, and suddenly stumbled under her feet. Fortunately, she reacted very quickly, and immediately ran the reel yuan to prevent herself from falling. Before she could get up, a strong arm wrapped around her waist. Lin Zan lowered his head and glanced at Dongwang Zio in his arms, and said plainly, be careful. Yeah, Dongwang Zio's cheeks warmed slightly. Resisting the strange feeling, he quickly twisted his waist and left Lin Zan's hand. But her gaze couldn't help but swept across Lin Zan's arm. Unexpectedly, his arms are so powerful, she thought to herself. Lin Zan's hands were still warm, and his eyes swept across Dongwang Zio's waist. This woman's waist is really thin and her body is really soft. Lin Zan couldn't help thinking. Seeing that Lin Zan supported Dongwang Zio, the little girls all showed happy smiles. The relationship between father and mother is really good. The family loves each other, what a blessing. Afterwards, because the children were watching, Lin Zan and Dongwang Zio had to continue flying kites for them. Dongwang Zio deliberately monitored the surrounding plants and trees, and there was no more embarrassment. It was not until the two put the kite at the highest point that the little girls competed to pull the kite and fly. After Lin Zan and Dongwang Zio returned the kite to them, they stood by and watched them play. It was not until the sun went down that Dongwang Zio reluctantly said goodbye to the children and went to Xuanbing Palace to handle political affairs. 9 Heavens Immortal Domain. The wilderness outside 9 Heavens, in a hidden cave. A sturdy man in silver armor was sitting on the animal skin bench at the highest point of the cave. He has red hair and a silver-white horn in the center of his forehead. The muscles of the whole body are knotted, full of boundless rage. He is the current leader of the Silver Sheep clan, Sang Mo, one of the 10 demon clan leaders in the 9 Heavens Immortal Domain. How come there is no news about the death of the 3 brothers of the Black Hawk God of War? Sandy muttered to himself. 9 full days have passed since the 3 Go brothers were dispatched. However, there is no trace of their deaths so far. This made Sang Mo feel a little uneasy in his heart. He has been hiding in the 9 Heavens Immortal Domain for thousands of years, and he has never encountered such a tricky thing. Intuition told him that the person who killed the Black Hawk God of War must have amazing power. At this time, a tall and thin figure walked in from outside the cave. Sang Mo took a closer look and saw that it was On's deputy, the 8th Order demon Liangqiu from the Fox clan. But what did the Black Hawk god of war find? Sang Mo hurriedly asked. Liangcho shook his head. There is still no clue. Sang Mo nodded, which was also what he expected, and he asked again, are you ready for the ancestor worship tomorrow? Liangcho nodded. Everything is ready. Yeah, Sang Mo nodded with satisfaction. This time the ancestor worship is no trivial matter. I am going to pray for the power of the ancestors to come. If I can get the blessing of my ancestors, my strength will definitely go further. Therefore, there is no room for error in the ancestor worship this time. Yes, Great Commander, please rest assured, there will be no problem. Liangcho said with a firm expression, I wish the Great Commander a successful ancestor worship and step into the Demon Emperor realm as soon as possible. Sang Mo raised his head and laughed twice. Demon Emperor realm, I will reach it sooner or later. But just in case, go catch 300 pairs of virgin boys and girls from the human race, and use their blood to activate the great formation of the Begu Mountains. Thinking of the mastermind behind the elimination of the Black Hawk god of war, Sang Mo felt a little uneasy in his heart. For the sake of safety, he decided to activate the ancient defense formation in the Begu Mountains. As long as this formation is activated, no one can enter the mountains to disturb their ancestor worship. However, once the ancestor worship is successful, he may be able to step into the Demon Emperor realm more quickly. To that realm, even if it is the Emperor realm of the human race, he will not be afraid. Yes, I'll do it now. Liangcho thought to himself that the chief commander was indeed an old-fashioned demon powerhouse, and he did things prudently and prudently. As long as the ancient great formation of Begu Mountain is activated, the promotion of the great commander to the Demon King realm is just around the corner. By that time, being by his side will have a bright future. As night fell, the palace of Dongwangde was decorated with lanterns and beams of joy. Lin Zan was invited to the palace gate with his 4 daughters on time. This time, Xuanju and the other 4 little girls also specially prepared a small gift for the princess of Dongwangde. The great hall of Dongwangde's palace. It was full of friends and family at the moment. Except for a lot of royal people. Many ministers from the northern Xuantian court and opposition, as well as dignitaries from all walks of life, have also sat on both sides of the great hall. There are 2 sumptuous tables in the center of the great hall. At one of the tables, there were Dongwangde, his beautiful wife, Princess Su Qinghua, and his son Dongwang Haoyu. The other table was empty. But everyone present knew who would sit at this table. I heard that the emperor has the appearance of an exiled immortal, and today I can finally see the honorable face with my own eyes. Yeah, I'm not qualified to meet the emperor on weekdays, but today I can finally open my eyes. Many people are eagerly waiting, wanting to see how good the man of the dignified Empress Xuanbing is. Soon, Lin Zan walked into the door with his 4 daughters. Seeing him appear, Dongwangde and others immediately stood up and saluted, "Meet the emperor." Seeing that Lin Zan's temperament is extremely dusty, his demeanor is unparalleled in the world. Many people secretly praised in their hearts, the man who is worthy of being the empress is indeed extraordinary. At this time, Dongwangde and Su Qinghua had already stepped forward. The little girls around Lin Zan couldn't wait to walk to Su Qing's screen. When they were about 2 years old, Su Qinghua helped Dongwang Zio take them for a few days. Therefore, the little girls were very fond of this princess. Specially prepared a gift for her birthday. Xuanju took out a purple mirror with a faint moonlight and said, "Empress Wang Fei, this is the Miaoyu mirror I gave you. It emits moonlight at night, and it can be used the same as during the day." Su Qinghua caressed Xuanju's head with a doting face, and smiled and took the mirror of Miaoyu. "Xuanju is so good. And mine." Xuanxi took out a crystal-clear glass bird. "This is my fairy sky bird, it looks good on the bedside." "Okay, thank you baby Xuanxi." Su Qinghua took the fairy sky bird lovingly. "Wang Fei Niangyang, this is the longevity flower I gave you, I wish you longevity like it." Xuanan took out a flower surrounded by immortal qi. The petals are ruddy, the branches and leaves are green, and it looks as if it will never wither. Su Qinghua nodded again and again. Xuanan is really getting more and more sensible. Xuanyu pulled Su Qinghua's sleeve, and put a small white snake the size of a palm into Su Qinghua's hand. "Wang Fei Niangyang, you are a snake, I will give you this little snake." Su Qinghua recognized that this little snake was the pet of many women in Beishuantian, named Yunyu snake. This snake never grows up and is very cute. Baby Zan's gift is so good. Su Qinghua put away the Yunyu snake with a face full of love. Zanyu turned to look at the three elder sisters with a smug face. Look, the concubine Wang concubine likes the gift I gave. The last time she gave Mu Yuking a 9-headed python, she almost terrified Mu Yuking. Zanyu therefore swore that the next time you give a gift, you must give a demonic beasts that others like. Today she finally did it, and she is very proud. Xuanju, Xuanxi and Xuanan all nodded like little adults. Yes, Zanyu finally grew up. Well, Zanyu knows how to send demonic beasts, which is a good thing. The sisters are right, it would be better if Zanyu didn't scare us with demonic beasts. I was scared to cry by her the day before yesterday. Seeing their serious, but cute looks, everyone present couldn't help but laugh. Such a cute and beautiful porcelain doll, anyone who sees it really likes it. Dongwangde then said respectfully, Emperor, please take a seat. Lin Zan nodded and took the 4 little girls to sit on the table. After the birthday banquet started, everyone present stepped forward to toast Lin Zan. These tycoons and dignitaries are also prominent figures in their respective territories on weekdays. However, in front of Lin Zan, they took the initiative to keep their posture very low. Some people even felt that it was a great honor to be able to clink glasses with Lin Zan. Lin Zan politely drank with everyone one by one. When he reaches the Emperor realm, he can completely rely on his spirit power to dissolve the alcohol, which can be said to be 1,000 cups without getting drunk. Seeing this in the eyes of everyone, there was another burst of amazement. The Emperor is really massive. Wait until the wine has passed 3 rounds. Dongwangde set his eyes on an old man in green clothes with white hair, and said politely, Master Han, now I can paint my beloved concubine. Han Daozi, the white-haired old man in green clothes, immediately got up and nodded when he heard the words, okay. He left the seat, walked to the center of the great hall, waved his right hand, and a mysterious light flashed. After the brilliance disappeared, an extremely exquisite canvas was suspended in the center of the great hall. On the other hand, Han Daozi was holding an inkstone in his left hand, which was shining with mysterious colorful lights. In his right hand he was holding a brush wrapped around a mortal chi, which looked very high grade. At this moment, there was a loud noise in the great hall. As expected of our Beishuantian painter, Master Han is extraordinary when he makes a move. That's natural. Master Han has been practicing Taoism for 6,000 years. People, ghosts and gods, landscapes, pavilions, flowers, trees, birds and beasts are omnipotent and omnipotent. He is truly a rare genius. That's right, being able to see Master Han's paintings is definitely an eye-opener. Everyone present was either rich or expensive, and they had seen countless paintings by famous artists. But many people can see Han Daozi's paintings for the first time. It can be seen that Han Daozi's title of painting saint is definitely a false name, and his status in the painting world of Beishuantian is extremely high. Not disturbed by the hustle and bustle of the crowd. At this time, Han Daozi was running spirit power with all his strength, manipulating the brush, and carefully painting on the canvas according to Su Qing's painting. Xuanju asked Lin Zan curiously, Dad, why does the princess want to paint a portrait of herself? Lin Zan said, this is a way for her to commemorate her youth. Simply put, it is to keep her youthful appearance. Many wealthy women in this world will paint themselves like this every birthday. Oh, Xuanju and the others immediately kept this knowledge firmly in their hearts. After about a stick of incense, Han Daozi finally finished painting. He then took out a jade pot and flicked it with his right hand, which let out a spiritual fluid that was sprayed on the painting. Brush. In an instant, the canvas shone with a dazzling white light. Wait until the brilliance wears off. Su Qing's paintings on the painting bloom with thousands of styles, thousands of enchanting, lifelike, graceful and luxurious temperament. Everyone hurriedly stepped forward to watch, and could not help but let out a shocking cry. Master Han's paintings are really amazing, diva. It's so beautiful. Dongwangde hurriedly led Su Qinghua forward. Seeing that the people in the painting are so vivid and beautiful, the two also showed a very satisfied look. Dad, let's go see too. Xuanju and the others couldn't hold back their curiosity, and quickly pulled Lin Zan forward to watch. Wow, it's really beautiful. The little girls were shocked by such a perfect painting, and applauded Han Daozi excitedly. At this moment, a tiny oil stain flew up from Xuanxi's hand and just landed on the portrait. Not good. Everyone hurriedly looked down and saw that the oil stain happened to fall on the tip of Su Qing's nose in the painting, turning into a small yellow spot. The little girls also noticed the anomaly and hurriedly stopped to look at the painting. Suddenly, Xuanxi's eyes widened with a frightened expression. The little girl knew that she made a mistake. Daddy, I did something wrong. Xuanxi took Lin Zan's hand timidly. The little mouth was deflated and the little nose twitched, and it looked like he was about to cry. Lin Zan carefully glanced at the oil stains on the canvas. With grandmaster painting skills, he knew exactly what to do with this polluted painting. So he gently touched the little girl's head. It's okay, it's not a big problem. Before Lin Zan could speak again, Dong Wangde said, yes, it's all right, it's just a little oil stain. Su Qinghua stepped forward and touched Xuanxi's head, and smiled gently, little baby, don't take it to heart. But, Wang Fei, you are beautiful, so you won't look good if you do it this way. Although she was comforted, Xuanxi was still very sorry. Xuanzhu, Xuanan and Xuanyu also nodded again and again. They thought to themselves, if everyone clapped together, Xuanxi would not have splashed the oil stains on the canvas. Seeing such a beautiful painting being soiled, the little girls felt very sorry. It's okay, it's okay. Dong Wangde said indifferently, I'll just ask Master Han to paint again. Is this okay? Xuanxi blinked her big eyes and looked at Han Daozi. It's totally fine to repaint. Han Daozi changed his words. The only problem is that the canvas I used is a magical item called pearl cloth. This magical item can fix color and light. Once colored, it can at least guarantee that it will not fade or deform for 10,000 years, and the luster will be as bright as ever. If it gets stained with oil, it will never be removed, but I only have one magical item. If I repaint it, I can only use ordinary drawing paper. Dong Wangde and others nodded silently when they heard the words. No wonder Han Daozi painted the princess so beautiful and vivid. It turns out that this canvas alone is very unusual. Since the canvas is permanently stained, it can only be discarded. Su Qinghua smiled gently. It's okay to use drawing paper, it's just a way to commemorate, you can't make children feel guilty because of this little thing. Everyone heard the words with admiration. As expected of a princess, her heart and bearing are indeed very unusual. Lin Zan also nodded slightly. No wonder her daughters like Su Qinghua so much. She has a really good personality. Dad, is there really no way to restore the canvas to its original state? Thinking that her own father is so omnipotent, Xuanxi asked with the last glimmer of hope. Lin Zan shook his head. Recovery is impossible. As Han Daozi said, his magical item is solid color and light, and oil stains are hard to clean. Once locked by the magical item, the oil cannot be completely cleaned unless it is destroyed. Hey, Xuanxi heard the words, her small shoulders suddenly collapsed, and a deep disappointment appeared in her eyes. Lin Zan fondly rubbed her little face, but Daddy can make this painting brighter and more beautiful. Really? Xuanxi's eyes lit up when she heard the words. Daddy really has a way. People say that Daddy is the most powerful. Having been with Lin Zan for so long, the little girl knew that as long as her father said yes, it would definitely work. Xuanzhu, Xuanan, and Xuanyu also pulled Lin Zan expectantly. Dad, then you can make your paintings look better. Not only them, Dong Wangde, Su Qinghua and others also had expressions of surprise and anticipation. Since De Fu said there was a way, he was definitely not talking nonsense. It's just, how would he make an otherwise tainted painting better? Among the crowd, Han Daozi looked the most excited. He hurriedly stepped forward and saluted. Please also ask De Fu to take action quickly, so that the next eye can be opened. Seeing that he was so urgent, everyone could not help but sigh secretly. He was indeed a painting saint, and he was obsessed with painting. Lin Zan smiled lightly. Okay. He noticed just now that the oil splashed on Xuanxi's hands was the walnut oil used to mix cold dishes. And walnut oil is one of several commonly used blending pigments in oil painting. If so, it would be wrong. Take a few more vegetable oils, mix out the oil paint, and turn this contaminated painting into an oil painting. Has the drawing skills of a grandmaster. Lin Zan is not only proficient in all kinds of painting, but also very familiar with the combination and modulation of pigments. Then, he ordered people to collect several vegetable oils such as walnut oil, as well as a few minerals needed to prepare pigments, as required. I'll do it. Han Daozi took the initiative to start with Lin Zan, and quickly collected the raw materials as required. Under the curious attention of everyone, Lin Zan quickly ground the raw materials and mixed them into pigments according to a certain proportion. It turns out that vegetable oil can also be used to make pigments. Han Daozi's eyes lit up. He has a strong hunch that after watching Diffuse painting today, his painting tract cultivation base will definitely be able to go further. Because, these things that the Emperor did, he had never seen or heard of before, it was like discovering a new world. Then, Lin Zan used the prepared paint to paint on the canvas. It didn't take long for a painting of exquisite beauty, bright colors, and exactly the same as the real life to be displayed in front of everyone. Seeing the glamorous and moving beautiful woman on the canvas, there is quite a sense of vividness. Everyone present was stunned. Han Daozi opened his eyes wide in shock, only to feel a flash of light in his mind, as if being touched by a fairy. If it is said that Master Han's paintings are lifelike, then Defu's paintings are vivid and brilliant. That's right, after being rendered by Defu, the color of this painting is warm and cold, the light and shade are well balanced, and the light is full of light. It can be called a fairy. It's amazing. If I hadn't known that it was a painting, I would have thought that the princess had turned into a painting. The rich and powerful present, when they were already on weekdays, did not know how many paintings by famous artists were appreciated. However, it was the first time they had seen all the oil paintings that had been improved by Lin Zan. The rich colors and vivid luster are at least one level higher than Han Daozi's paintings. Han Daozi also bowed to Lin Zan with a convincing expression. Compared with Emperor Fu, the name of the old man's painting saint is really deserving. From now on, only the Emperor can hold the title of Baishuantian's painting saint. His words drew strong approval from the crowd. That's right, painting saints, only Diffuer. Su Qinghua was so happy that she couldn't close her mouth, and held the painting in her hands with a look of delight. It's a blessing in disguise, I didn't expect to get such a beautiful painting. The Emperor's actions today really turned corruption into magic. Dong Wangde also had a bright smile on his face when he heard this. This birthday banquet was originally intended to make Su Qinghua happy. Now that Concubine Ai has this fairy painting, this birthday party is really worth it. Seeing that everyone was praising Lin Zan's paintings, Xuanxi, who had been tense all the time, finally let out a long breath. She raised her head and waved her little hand to Lin Zan. Dad, I have something to tell you. What? Lin Zan bent down curiously. Xuanxi smiled secretly, thinking that Lin Zan was not paying attention, so she hugged his face and kissed him 3 times in one breath. Daddy, you are my magic. Chapter 71. The next morning, Xuanbing Palace. Dongwang Zio approved the memorial for the whole night. Seeing that the east was white, she got up and walked towards the door of the great hall, relaxing in the face of the rising sun. Your Majesty, something just happened. Ruiying stepped out of the black light. Dongwang Zio glanced at her lightly. Let's hear it. Ruiying said, do you still remember Yan Yao, the princess of Gaian Kingdom? Dongwang Zio nodded. Remember. I remember when I was cultivating Kendo in Sacred Land in the early days, and she also studied Kendo there. I still remember that she is a woman with a gentle personality. She doesn't have the temperament of a princess and is easy to get along with. Saying that, she raised her eyebrows slightly. I remember that 3 years ago, I gave her a marriage to the Xiaogu master of Xiaoyao Valley. Could it be that something went wrong with their marriage? Facing the beautiful dark eyes of Dongwang Zio, Ruiying nodded. Yes, the first 2 years after their marriage were quite happy, but the last year has slowly changed. Early this morning, my subordinates received information that Zhang Fan, the master of Xiaoyao Valley, killed his own father, abolished Yan Yao's cultivation base, and eloped with a woman. Dongwang Zio's eyes turned cold when he heard the words. How can this Zhang Fan be so excessive? What's more, the woman he eloped with is the princess of the heavenly devil world. Ruo Ying showed a hint of resentment. Princess of Wushengguo. Dongwang Zio's eyes were desolately cold. Wusheng country is also a very unstable demon country outside our Baishuantian border. Although Zhang Fan is an ant, the Xiaoyao Valley where he is located is also well known in Beishuantian. If he defected to the Wusheng Kingdom, he would definitely help Zhou and harm our people in Beishuantian. Ruiying nodded. Then what should your majesty do? Dongwang Zhao said coldly. Devil monarch, when my father was alive, sacrificed 100,000 living people from our Beishuantian to heavenly devil outside the realm. This account has never been settled. It seems that this time, maybe we should settle the account with Wushengguo. Ruiying asked, Your Majesty, are you going to fight the Wusheng Kingdom? Dongwang Zhao smiled slightly. War is not what I want, but the situation is pressing. When I have no choice, I can only use force. Ruo Ying showed a hint of worry. Not only is the Wusheng Kingdom several times more powerful than the 10,000 Demon Kingdom, but their Wusheng Devil Monarch is also an old-fashioned demon powerhouse, much stronger than the blood devil-loving Zhen Yiyu. Quote. Dongwang Zhao raised her hand and interrupted her. Since I ascended the throne, I have faced enemies on all sides. You can't be timid just because the enemy is strong, and let Beishuantian be devoured and swallowed up by the secret enemy. After hearing this, Ruiying showed a hint of awe. Your Majesty said yes. She knew that any major move by Dongwang Zhao would be carefully planned. Wushengguo's debt to Beishuantian, I don't know how many people from Beishuantian remember it in their hearts. Dongwang Zhao ascended the throne as an empress, and her grand ambition was to expand Beishuantian and bring Beishuantian back to the peak of power that was 100,000 years ago. Then, the debts of Wushengguo must be settled in her hands. Only, His Majesty always carried everything alone, and there was no capable helper around to share her pressure. Seeing these Ruiying in his eyes, he also felt very distressed. I heard Dongwang Zhao say, you send people to Wusheng Kingdom and ask them to hand over Zhang Fan. Otherwise, I will plant Beishuantian's Xuanbing Emperor flag in Wusheng capital. Yes, Ruiying turned to leave. Wait, Dongwang Zhao added mildly. Send someone to take Yan Yao to Xuanbing Palace, and I will personally help her treat her injuries. Xuanbing Palace has Beishuantian's top medical resources, and Dongwang Zhao is the strongest person. If she helps Yan Yao, she may make Yan Yao's injury recover as soon as possible. Well, my subordinates know. Ruiying's face showed a touch of emotion. Even though Dongwang Zhao has steel wrists, she has always been humane when dealing with relatives and friends. North Gu Mountains. The terrain of this mountain range is extremely complex and special, with many dense jungles and towering trees. In the deepest valley of the mountain range, it is the place where the Yinyang tribe worships their ancestors. As the leader of the Silver Sheep clan, Sangmo has brought all the people of the Nine Heavens immortal domain to stand in front of the huge altar. Liangqiu appeared behind him at this time and said, Grand Commander, 300 pairs of boys and girls have been divided into 4 directions. As long as you give an order, you can immediately disembowel them and throw them into the river where the big formation is activated. Sangmo listened with a satisfied look. Very good. There is an ancient great formation hidden in the Beigu Mountains, called the Panxiang Great Formation. This formation was set up by the ancestors of the Silver Sheep clan in the Nine Heavens immortal domain to protect the clan in the Beigu Mountains. As long as the blood and organs of the boys and girls are thrown into the river channel that activates the Grand Formation, the 4 river channels from east, west, north and south can be connected to each other, and the Grand Formation can be successfully activated. Let's start. After Sangmo gave the order, he flew up to the altar. The Panxiang Great Array started very quickly, and he could not delay the sacrifice of ancestors, so he could now start worshipping ancestors with confidence. After Liangqiu received the order, he shot a dark red light into the sky. This is the code that he and his subordinates agreed upon. As long as he sees the light flashing, he can kill. At this time, in the jungle on the edge of the Beigu Mountains, by the river, a dozen or so demon warriors with horns. Holding a machete, he stared at the hundreds of boys and girls kneeling beside the river. The miscellaneous of the human race should be chopped off by nature, and the chest should be split open. If you can contribute to the ancestor worship ceremony of the great commander, you are considered worth dying. The bear demon who took the lead smiled and looked cruelly at the frightened children. Ha! A blood-red light glowed high in the distance. The bear demon quickly licked his lips. You can do it. No, please don't kill us. I don't want to die. Woohoo. These are only 7 or 8-year-old boys and girls. Seeing this gang of ferocious monsters raise their butcher knives, their eyes are full of infinite despair. Bang! A fierce sword ray suddenly burst out, directly splitting the powerful bear demon into 2 halves from top to bottom. All the children and demon warriors looked up. I saw a man in white clothes descending from the sky like a god descending from the earth. Immortal. The pupils of the children, originally full of fear, instantly burst into infinite hope. Lin Zan smiled slightly, raised the sword in his hand, and split the rest of the demon warriors in half at lightning speed. This morning, after making breakfast for the children, he went to the Begu Mountains while they were resting and playing. Judging by the situation, he felt that he had arrived just in time. The immortals are on top, and they also arrested a lot of people in the east, west and north. I beg the immortals to save them. One of the little boys hurriedly pleaded because a partner was also caught. Lin Zan nodded, raised the Emperor Realm True Essence to the maximum strength, and urged the Shengxing bracelet to rush out in the other direction like lightning. Because he was fast enough, he killed all the demon warriors from the east, west, and north in one go before the butcher knives fell. Silver Sheep Altar. Sang Mo knelt in the center of the altar, stretched out his hands to the sky, and muttered words. The ancestors are above. I pray for your divine power to come and help me lead the Silver Sheep clan to grow stronger. A blood-colored light shot up from the pool in front of him, exploded into powder in midair, and disappeared instantly. Soon, a bloody hole opened in the sky. A black light penetrated the blood-colored gap and shot towards the center of the altar. Seeing this scene, tens of thousands of people from the Silver Sheep clan were all excited. If the leader can get the blessing of the power of the ancestors, the Silver Sheep clan will definitely have a bright future. Bang! The black light precisely fell on the top of Sang Mo's head, and instantly merged with him. An aura like a river pouring out immediately exploded from Sang Mo, turning into a rolling wave and rushing in all directions. Under this terrifying aura, all the Yin-Yang people were horrified and terrified. Liangqiu, who was standing beside him, also trembled slightly. Too strong. It is too strong. The power of the ancestors of the Silver Sheep clan was absorbed by the Grand Commander, and all his current potential has been stimulated. If we go further, the Demon Emperor is just around the corner. Under the control of the terrifying pressure of the desert, tens of thousands of people from the Silver Sheep clan, as well as Liangqiu, were both frightened and excited. Feeling the awe of everyone, Sang Mo stood up proudly, and a pair of purple gold eyes scanned the audience. Everyone could clearly see that 9 golden circles had already lit up in his pupils. This means that he is already a 9th order demon general. In the past 100,000 years of our Silver Sheep clan, we have only produced a 9th rank demon general from our ancestors. Now the leader has also become a 9th order demon general, which means that the revival of our Silver Sheep clan is in sight. The leader is mighty. All the Silver Sheep clan worshipped Sang Mo for a while, treating him like the god of their own clan. Ha ha ha. Sang Mo was extremely proud in his heart and couldn't help but raised his head and laughed a few times. Suddenly, he noticed something was wrong. Logically speaking, the Pan-phase Great Array should have been activated long ago. However, up to now, after looking at it for 30,000 miles, I haven't seen a trace of the Panxiang formation. This made Sang Mo couldn't help but be vigilant. He had a hunch that a very powerful enemy might appear today. Brush. At this moment, a brilliant white light descended from the sky, as fast as lightning. Sure enough, a strong man is coming. Sang Mo's eyes locked on Lin Zan, and he thought that he had guessed correctly, and indeed a strong man came here. Lin Zan's eyes fell lightly on Sang Mo. You are the one who ordered the Black Eagle god of war to ambush the Queen of Ice, right? So what? Sang Mo narrowed his eyes, and after a moment of contemplation, he said bitterly, so it was you who killed the 3 brothers, the god of war, the Black Eagle. Liangqiu said coldly, it seems that this is the man of Queen Zanbing. Empress Xuanbing is cold and beautiful, and her appearance is the best of 9 heavens. She gave birth to the 4 treasures with a mysterious man 4 years ago, as anyone who has known about the Queen of Zanbing knows. Combined with what Lin Zan just said, Sang Mo and Liangqiu not only guessed that Lin Zan was the mastermind behind the destruction of the Black Hawk god of war. He also guessed that he was the man of the Queen Zanbing. You all guessed right. Lin Zan smiled playfully. I like to deal with smart people, so it's much easier to do things this way. He raised his right hand and snapped his fingers. Boo! A black mysterious seal shot out from his fingers and disappeared into the sky. Then a black light flashed. A terrifying aura instantly enveloped a 10-mile radius. The tens of thousands of yin-yang people under the altar felt the chill of hundreds of millions of terrifying waves surging around them. These chills are extremely aggressive, making them feel like they are in a purgatory of 9 secluded places. Hey, this is a killing formation. Too horrible. Boss, save us. Just when the yin-yang people cried out in surprise, the Juyu Xuantian killing formation was fully formed. Countless extreme cold and nether energy, strengthened by the heavenly Tao power absorbed by the formation, turned into billions of terrifying ice arrows that could penetrate the flesh and blood of the yin-yang tribe. For a while, the black nether chi burst and splashed, and a shrill scream shook the world. Seeing this scene, Sangmo and Liangqiu were both stunned and couldn't come back to their senses for a long time. They had long expected that Lin Zan would be strong, but they never imagined that he would be so strong. Twist your fingers. This kind of ability is simply amazing, diva. As expected of the man of Empress Xuanbing, the fear in Sangmo's heart instantly increased. Fortunately, I have the blessing of the ancestors' power, otherwise I can only sit still today. To be able to conquer a woman like Empress Xuanbing really needs such terrifying ability. And Liangqiu sighed inwardly. After regaining his senses, Sangmo angrily watched the yin-yang people die tragically in the killing battle. A violent murderous aura rose into the sky from his body. Beishuan Heavenly Emperor, you destroy my clan, this hatred is undeniable. 10,000 feet of killing intent gathered his whole body in an instant. The power from the ancestors of the Silver Sheep clan, and his own cultivation base, merged into a giant silver sheep totem that could not reach the top. Sangmo took out his own hammer in the void and turned it into a lightning-like streamer to kill Lin Zan. The strength of your ancestors is not strong. Lin Zan smiled contemptuously. The sword in his hand turned 1,000 times, and he used the Wuji sword technique to chop down. The powerful real essence of the Emperor's realm turned into the endless sword chi. Combined with the thunder force of the 5 elements divine thunder, it exploded against the sky-shattering hammer of Sangmo. Boom! Sangmo only felt a terrifying mass of true chi burst out in front of him. After he regained his senses, let alone the sky-shocking hammer, even his right arm was blown to pieces. This man is a monster. Sangmo suddenly felt a trace of remorse in his heart. If he had known that Empress Xuanbing's man was so strong, he would not have accepted this mission if he was killed. It's better now, for a petty profit. Not only did he ruin the entire yin-yang family, but even his own life was about to die. More than worth the loss. And saw that the desert was completely suppressed in an instant. Liangqiu swallowed a mouthful of saliva from the side, turned into a gust of wind and fled into the distance. Did I let you go? Lin Zan urged. 5 thunders, and drew out a thunder tactic with his left hand. Boom! A group of 5 elements thunder light fell from the sky and landed on Liangqiu precisely, blowing him into powder. Sangmo was completely petrified when he saw this. Liangqiu was an 8th order monster anyway, but he was blasted into powder by a ball of lightning from Beishuan Heavenly Emperor. Now it seems that Diffuse Sword just now is still showing mercy to him. Otherwise, with the strength of his Emperor realm, if he strengthens the thunder power several times, he can definitely kill himself in seconds, like killing Liangqiu in seconds. Thinking of this, Sangmo's heart sank to the bottom in an instant. In the face of such a dominant powerhouse, he simply did not have the courage to make a second shot. Bang! Lin Zan then stomped Sangmo to the ground with 1 foot, and the sword in his hand gleamed and touched Sangmo's throat. Tell me, who was instructed to ambush Empress Xuanbing? Sangmo felt the coolness in his throat entering his heart, and he didn't dare to hide it at all, and said quickly, it's a member of the Nanshuan Tian imperial family. Nanshuan Emperor. A cold smile appeared on the corner of Lin Zan's mouth, and he finally found the true master. To be precise, which one of the Nanshuantian royal family is it? Lin Zan asked. Sangmo shook his head. This little guy really doesn't know. The little guy can only be sure that the other party is from the Nanshuantian imperial family. Lin Zan used the Rakshasa spiritual mind to invade Sangmo's sea of consciousness, confirming that what he said was true. Think about it too. At Sangmo's level, if the other party intentionally concealed his identity, he would not have the ability to find out. However, for Lin Zan, today's trip has been rewarded. The people of the Nanshuan imperial family plan to ambush Dongwang Zio. He will pass this news to Dongwang Zio. It is believed that with Dongwang Zio's methods and abilities, not only can he take adequate precautions against Nan Xuantian, but he might even be able to find out who was connected to Sang Mo. At that time, if there is a need, Lin Zan will definitely take action as soon as possible. Seeing that Lin Zan did not let go of his own, Sang Mo hurriedly pleaded. Beishuan Heavenly Emperor, you have already killed all my clansmen, so be kind and let me go. Lin Zan coldly said, you know this is impossible. If he hadn't arrived in time, the 300 pairs of boys and girls would have been gutted by the demon soldiers under Sang Mo. They are so cruel to the human race, so there is no reason to let them go. Killing them all is the right choice. Puff! Lin Zan's sword instantly penetrated Sang Mo's throat. Putting away his sword, Lin Zan flew up and looked down at the entire Beigu Mountains. Rise! As soon as he lifted his finger, he saw a khaki light covering a radius of 30,000 miles, covering the entire Beigu Mountains. This is the Panxiang Great Array created by the ancestors of the Yin-Yang tribe. With the 10-square formation, Lin Zan can activate this formation without sacrificing a living person. And the reason for activating this formation, Lin Zan, is of course to completely destroy it. Break! Lin Zan's fingers sank, and a golden light rushed into the eyes of the Panxiang Great Array. Then came the boom. There was a shocking explosion, and the entire formation was completely blown into powder from top to bottom. Together with the rivers in the 4 directions of the south, east, and northwest, they were all overturned and blown to pieces. Covered by rubble and dust, no one could start this great formation again. After doing all this, Lin Zan turned into a streamer and quickly returned to the Crystal Palace. As soon as he arrived at the gate of the palace, Lin Zan saw a large group of servants and guards rushing out of the door as if they were running for their lives. Run away. It's terrible. Oh my God, how can there be such terrifying demonic beasts? Even the commander of the guards, Feng Zhanfen, rushed out the door with a face full of horror, turning around and shouting inside. Little ancestors, hurry up and stop it, it's really scaring people to death. Lin Zan hurriedly walked into the palace gate and saw that in the huge garden, the 9-headed python had completely recovered its body. At this time, its straight body is 1,000 feet tall, towering and blocking the sun. From the ground, it looks like a ferocious mountain, which is frightening. And his 4 little treasures were riding on the heads of the 9-headed pythons, and the 4 pairs of short legs were happily dangling there. It's so high. It's really fun. Xiaoju, can you get bigger? Yes, Xiaoju, you are a little older, our garden is big, and you are not afraid of being crushed by you. If only Xiaoju could become as high as the sky, then I could eat the clouds. Lin Zan understood at once. It turned out that the little girls wanted to ride Xiaoju to play, so they made it so tall. For the guards and servants of the Crystal Palace, Xiaoju was too terrifying. Wandering around in the garden like this, it's no wonder that these people are not frightened. I didn't expect that after leaving for such a short time, these little cuties made such a big noise. Lin Zan shook his head helplessly and smiled, raised his head dotingly and said, babies, Daddy can take you to a higher place to play. Where? The little girls asked curiously. Heaven. Lin Zan waved his hand, and a terrifying wave of air rolled up the 9-headed python and 4 daughters. Afterwards, he took them to a high altitude. There, Lin Zan blocked a whole cloud with spirit power and used it as a place for the little girls to play. Soon in the clouds, the laughter of the little girls sounded. Taking this opportunity, Lin Zan took out the flying feather that he had searched from the one-armed ape King Naji. After entering a message inside, use spirit power to seal and throw the Xuanbing Palace below. Xuanbing Palace. Are you feeling better now? Dongwang Zio came to the guest room in the palace and looked down at Yan Yao lying on the bed. Since taking Yan Yao into the palace, Dongwang Zio has used the best resources to heal her. Fortunately, with timely treatment, Yan Yao's broken legs could be fully connected, and there would be no sequelae. Well, thank you, Your Majesty. Yan Yao looked moved. She could never have imagined that the dignified Empress Beishuantian would care so much about this little-known princess of a small country. But your spiritual roots have been abolished, and there is no possibility of cultivation in this life. Donglong Zio shook his head slightly. Yan Yao sighed. Forget it, as long as you can live well, it will be the best result. Donglong Zio nodded. Okay, you can continue to rest. Seeing that she was leaving, Yan Yao hurriedly asked, Your Majesty, are you planning to bring Zhang Fan back? Donglong Zio turned around and looked at her deeply. What do you want to say? Yan Yao showed a hint of worry. The reason why Zhang Fan eloped with the princess of Wushengguo is because he wants to use the power of Wushengguo to establish his own door. I secretly found out that he had got a great opportunity and inherited the Shira demon body, one of the 10 major demon bodies. He should be trying to use the Wusheng kingdom to help his own demon body cultivator refine to the great perfection, and then become a hegemon. It turns out that Zhang Fan still has such secrets. Donglong Zio revealed a hint of playfulness. The marriage was given because Yan Yao and Zhang Fan were in love with each other. At the request of the elders on both sides, she opened the golden mouth. It can be said that she has never put the little person Zhang Fan into one's eyes. Now it seems that Zhang Fan needs to be taken seriously. Yan Yao nodded. Yes, so you have to be careful, Your Majesty. Donglong Zio gave a shallow hum, turned and left without saying much. Zhang Fan violated the marriage, defected to the demon race, mutilated his wife, and killed his father to prove Devil Dao. He is a ruthless and unrighteous villain. If Donglong Zio lets such a person succeed, how will he govern the world in the future? This battle against Wushengguo, both public and private, must be fought. Thinking so, she has come to the entrance of the main hall of Xuanbing Palace. Suddenly, a shining white light floated out from the void. Donglong Zio stretched out his hand a little and used a spiritual chi to hold the white light in his hand. This is the flying feather used by the demon clan to communicate. Why does it appear here? With a hint of curiosity, Donglong Zio opened the flying feathers with spirit power. I saw a message suddenly appear. The demon clan ambushed soldiers were dispatched by the Nanchuantian royal family. After reading it, Donglong Zio couldn't calm down for a long time. The message was clearly intended for her. And the person who sent the message. Could it be the noble man who helped me eliminate the demon clan ambush? Donglong Zio's beautiful eyes lit up. After calming down, Donglong Zio called Ruiying to him. After showing Ruiying the news, Donglong Zio asked, What do you think about this matter? Ruiying thought for a while and said, My subordinates feel that the person who sent the letter is most likely the strong man who eliminated the demon clan's ambush back then. He shouldn't be a demon clan, but a top expert who doesn't want to be born. Donglong Zio nodded slightly. This person should have a deep connection with our Beishuantian and even the Donglong family. I can't help but speculate that he may be an ancestor of our Eastern royal family. His ability is so great and his actions are so low-key, it is difficult to do this without tens of thousands of years of precipitation. Ruiying also secretly agrees after hearing this. The people behind the scenes are so powerful and mysterious. But fortunately, with the help of this person, His Majesty can deal with various enemies more easily. However, the authenticity of this news needs to be confirmed. Donglong Zio was very thoughtful and decided to follow the news to the end. You should send someone to investigate the Nanchuantian royal family secretly now. Yes. Heavenly Devil World, No Life Country. Devil Monarch Great Hall. Zhang Fan followed Jing Hengxin, the princess of the Wusheng kingdom, all the way here. As soon as I stepped in the door, I felt an extremely terrifying coercion enveloped all around. A breath like an ancient troll rushed towards him. As expected of the veteran devil monarch, just the aura it shows makes people desperate. Zhang Fan lowered his head and looked humble and respectful. But he was very excited. The king of Wushenggu, Jing Wuya, is not only the veteran devil monarch, but also a member of the Devil Dao Alliance, the largest organization in the heavenly devil world. If he can get his support, he will definitely be able to stand out, and it will be no problem to become a generation of devil monarch in the future. However, because he captured the heart of Jing Hengxin, the princess of the Wusheng kingdom, Zhang Fan has full confidence that he can let Jing Wuya help him. Father, I brought Zhang Fan. Jing Hengxin took Zhang Fan to the center of the great hall and raised his head to look at the majestic figure on the throne of Devil Monarch. Jing Wuya lowered his head and stared at Zhang Fan, two mysterious black lights burst out from his dark pupils. As soon as these two black lights touched Zhang Fan, they saw Zhang Fan's body instantly shrouded in black smoke. Sure enough, it's the Shira demon body. It seems that this kid is really related to our demon race. Jing Wuya nodded indifferently. His daughter Jing Hengxin once told him that she fell in love with Zhang Fan from Nine Heaven's immortal domain. At first, Jing Wuya strongly objected to his daughter being with Zhang Fan, and was very disdainful of Zhang Fan. Later, Jing Hengxin said that Zhang Fan got the inheritance of the ancient demons, activated the Shira demon body, and was willing to join the demon clan. Jing Wuya was willing to give Zhang Fan a chance and let him come to Wushengguo to see him. Now it seems that the daughter did not deceive herself. Zhang Fan, are you really willing to marry my daughter and be loyal to me from now on? Jing Wuya asked coldly. Yes. Under the pressure of Jing Wuya, Zhang Fan was even short of breath, and hurriedly knelt down on one knee to show his loyalty. Jing Han said happily, Father, Zhang Fan was blocked by his father and wife because he wanted to defect to our country without life. In order to be with me, he did not hesitate to kill his father and hurt his wife, disobeying the marriage given to him by Empress Xuanbing, so he is loyal. Killing your father and hurting your wife. Jing Wuya frowned slightly. This is a ruthless man. However, it is understandable that people of the righteous way want to enter Devil Dao and do such things that people and gods are angry with. It is the so-called unbreakable. How can you accept Devil Dao's rules without breaking the original concepts and constraints? Jing Wuya secretly decided that people like Zhang Fan should be properly controlled. With both grace and power, he can be determined to be with his daughter Jing Hengxin. Zhang Fan hurriedly explained, Master Devil Monarch, he also accidentally killed his biological father by mistake. Jing Wuya waved his hands indifferently and said, The Devil Monarch doesn't care about this matter. I just tell you that you have entered the gate of my lifeless kingdom, and from now on you must swear allegiance to Ji-Yu. Ji-Yu can help you or kill you. After he finished speaking, he lifted his finger, and a mysterious black light shot into Zhang Fan's body. I saw a black light flashing, and Zhang Fan suddenly burst out with an incomparably rich devilish qi. The Shira demon body is a heaven-defying physique. If you want to cultivate this demon body, you must go against heavenly Dao and deviate from justice. I will now raise your demon body to the third stage, and you will have to walk on your own for the rest of the way. Feeling the surging devilish qi in his body, Zhang Fan couldn't help showing a hint of joy on his face, and hurriedly knelt down and saluted, Thank you, Lord Devil Monarch. His previous cultivation base had been stuck in the middle stage of Spirit Wheel Realm. Now that Shira's demon body has been upgraded to the third stage, his cultivation base has been upgraded to the early stage of the Divine Realm at once. At this speed, within a year, he will be able to reach the pinnacle of the Divine Soul Realm. With the help of Jing Wuya, the veteran Devil Monarch, maybe it will be even faster. Jing Wuya narrowed his eyes and smiled. Since you and Han Xin are together, change your tune. Yes, Royal Father. Zhang Fan couldn't help but be overjoyed. Jing Hengxin said again. By the way, the Emperor, Zhang Fan made such a sensation this time, I believe Empress Xuanbing will not sit idly by. His cultivation base is still shallow now, not enough to fight against the Empress, and he also asks the Royal Father to protect him. Since Zhang Fan has become a member of this Devil Monarch, Ji-Yu will naturally care about his safety. Jing Wuya's words changed, but that yellow-haired girl from Dongwangzhou is nothing to worry about. Ben Devil Monarch doesn't even have her father to put in one's eyes, let alone her. I think back then, Ji-Yu sacrificed 100,000 people from Bei Xuantian to Heavenly Devil outside the realm, and achieved a lifeless demon body. This matter has become a nail in Bei Zan Diva's heart. You see that Dongwangzhou has been on the throne for 4 years. Has she said anything about this matter? Feel the arrogance and pride in Jing Wuya's words, as well as the disdain for Dongwangzhou. Jing Hengxin and Zhang Fan both showed joy. Indeed, Empress Xuanbing is known as the most powerful woman, but until now she has not dared to ask Wushengguo Xingxi for guilt. This clearly illustrates a problem. That is her fearless and unscrupulous Devil Monarch Jing Wuya. Between the words, a magic general hurriedly walked in outside the Great Hall. Your Majesty, Bei Xuantian is here. Jing Wuya's face was slightly cold. They want to take Zhang Fan back. Demon General. Yes, Let them go. Jing Wuya waved his hand arrogantly. Tell them that Zhang Fan is already a member of the Devil Monarch. If you don't want to die, just shut up and go back to Bei Xuantian. Feeling the coercion of Jing Wuya, the demon general showed a hint of panic. Your Majesty, they also brought a sentence to Empress Xuanbing. Speak. Jing Wuya raised a trace of interest. Demon General. Empress Xuanbing said that if she doesn't hand over Zhang Fan, then she will plant the Emperor Xuanbing's flag in our capital. East Emperor Zio, you are ridiculously naive. Jing Wuya burst out a group of terrifying devilish qi, which turned into a huge black devil in the sky above Wushengguo. The huge devil opened his mouth wide and swallowed the generals led by Bei Xuantian. Then I heard his voice turn into a rolling wave of magic. Go back and tell Dongwang Zio that if this devil monarch can sacrifice 100,000 people to Bei Xuantian, he can sacrifice millions of people. If she wants to be an empress for a few more days, she will give this devil monarch her tail and be a good human being. North Xuantian. The generals who went to Wusheng Kingdom came back and reported what the Wusheng devil monarch did and said to Dongwang Zio. Dongwang Zio immediately decided to mobilize the Wushengguo. This time, there was no objection from the ministers of the DPRK in China. One of them was taken under the coercion of the Eastern Emperor Zio. After she conquered the 10,000 demons, she has already recognized her rule. Second, the lifeless devil monarch owed Bei Xuantian 100,000 lives, and it would be detrimental to Bei Xuantian's stability if he dragged it on again and again. Everyone knows that Dongwang Zio shoulders the heavy responsibility of leading the revival of Bei Xuantian. At this moment, she has no choice but to go to war. It is different from the turbulence of the outside world. In the Crystal Palace, Lin Zan and his 4 daughters still lived a quiet and peaceful life. No, this morning, after taking the kids to breakfast. According to the plan, Lin Zan took them to the spirit gathering array to practice swordsmanship. I have to say that the talents of the little girls are not worthy of Lin Zan's promise sword technique. Not only did they fully comprehend the sword intent taught by Lin Zan, but they also perfectly integrated Dongwang Zio's sword moves. Every move and every style has its own pattern, and its power is extraordinary. Seeing her daughters progress so fast, Lin Zan has a sense of expectation that she will become a phoenix. When they all grow up, all of them must be female sword fairies on the side of Megatron. There was a doting smile in Lin Zan's eyes. After practicing for a while, Lin Zan explained some more esoteric Kendo to them while taking advantage of the rest. Xuanju raised her small hand and asked, Dad, is the Kendo that everyone finally achieves exactly the same? The little girl listened to Lin Zan's elaboration on Kendo last time at Sacred Land, but she didn't quite understand it. Now that Daddy was explaining Kendo to everyone, she wanted to solve her doubts. Lin Zan shook his head and smiled. The Dao is very Dao. Everyone's Kendo is different, and he has to combine his own life and perception. Xuanxi raised her small hand. I understand, only the most suitable for his own Kendo is the best. Lin Zan pinched her little nose dotingly. That's right. Xuanan said with a hint of yearning. Then the swordsmanship I want is to be as beautiful as the clouds in the sky and as pure as the water in the river. Lin Zan smiled and said, when you reach a certain realm, you can do this. She knew that Xuanan was a very quiet character, and the Kendo she pursued must be the kind of Kendo that erupted in silence. Zanyu folded her hands on her chest and said, then my Kendo is to be omnipotent, the kind of Qi deviation. Lin Zan didn't know whether to laugh or cry and asked, baby, do you know what Qi deviation is? I know. Zanyu's face was determined. It's just spewing out a lot of fire and burning all the devils. Before Lin Zan could speak, Xuanju, Xuanxi and Xuanan shook their heads sharply. No, no, no. Qi deviation means to practice fire and become a devil. After hearing this, Zanyu scratched her head, her face full of doubts. Is that so? After thinking about it, she felt that what the sisters said seemed to make sense. Lin Zan shook his head and smiled. Emotional girls have never understood what Qi deviation is. It's no wonder that they entered cultivation not long ago. Moreover, the knowledge and skills taught by Dongwang Zio are from the shallower to the deeper, step by step. It has nothing to do with Qi deviation at all. Therefore, she would not tell them about it so early. Lin Zan then said, the so-called qi deviation is in cultivation, indulging in a certain wrong direction and losing one's mind, and ultimately harming others and oneself. A lighter qi deviation may cause the cultivation base to regress, and a heavier one may even make people mad or even killed. Wow, so scary. The little girls covered their mouths in horror. That's right. Lin Zan nodded. So last time at Sacred Land in Absolute Beginning, the senior brother of the Holy Master in Absolute Beginning came to his senses, because he realized that he was almost qi deviation. Oh, that's what it is. This time, the little girls completely understood. Dad, what is the devil like? Xuanju continued to think. I heard that there are many devils living far away. The devil is actually similar to us. Sometimes, the difference between a person and a devil is just a thought. Lin Zan tried to make it as simple as possible to make it easier for the children to understand. Is that so? Xuanju raised her head and looked into the distance. It would be nice if you could take a look at the demons. Xuanxi, Xuanan, and Xuanyu also nodded, with longing looks in their eyes. The little girls are at the age to fully understand the world, and they are always curious about these novel things. Lin Zan saw the expressions of his daughters in his eyes and smiled dotingly. Since you want to see it, then Daddy will take you to see it. Okay. The little girls were very happy. Whatever you want, Dad will do it right away. It's great to have such a dad. Feeling the admiration and happiness in the eyes of her daughters, Lin Zan was full of a sense of accomplishment, and immediately set off with her daughters. In order to let the daughters experience a novel way of travel, Lin Zan directly took them to fly with his sword. All the way, like a flash of lightning, the little girls were so excited. Soon, the sky ahead suddenly became dark, and the crimson clouds stretched as far as the eye could see, full of eerie feeling. Wow, it turns out that Devil World is so beautiful. With the exclamations of the little girls, Lin Zan led them into the heavenly Devil World. After entering the border of the 10,000 demons, Lin Zan fell to the ground and took his daughters to enjoy the scenery of Devil World along the way. Because the kingdom of 10,000 demons is surrounded by 100,000 mountains. Along the way, the little girls have seen a lot of exotic flowers and plants that are only found in the heavenly Devil World. Lin Zan owns the mysterious Heaven book, which covers all things. So I explained the names and effects of these exotic flowers and plants to them one by one, and the little girls were hooked. I saw some small magical beasts passing by. Zanyu took out the 9-headed python that was hidden in her arms and let him see Devil World's magical beasts together. Hiss. Suddenly, the 9-headed heavenly python seemed to be stimulated in some way, and the 9 heads turned to the right at the same time. I saw a tiger-shaped magical beasts with a snow-white body and a silver horn. He rushed out of the woods and stood in front of Lin Zan and the others. Lin Zan saw a few purple bloodstains on magical beast's body. He immediately understood that the 9-headed python was stimulated by blood. Dad, what are these magical beasts? Why is there blood on it? Xuanju and the others looked puzzled. Lin Zan said, this magical beast is called Yinyu White Tiger. It has a gentle temperament and is a very rare magical beast. The blood on it should come from the people of the demon race, because the blood of the demon race people is purple. While talking, Yinyu White Tiger was frightened by the 9-headed sky python and screamed in horror, turned around and rushed into the woods. Dad, let's go after Yinyu White Tiger. Zanyu hurriedly pulled Lin Zan. Such cute magical beasts, it would be bad if you encounter bad guys. Xuanju and the others also thought the same as Zanyu, so they hurriedly urged Lin Zan to chase. Lin Zan nodded, and let the 9-headed python recover its body to intercept the Yinyu White Tiger, while he was pulled by the little girls and ran into the woods. And just 5 miles away from Lin Zan and the others, at this moment a blue-clothed woman was under siege by hundreds of people. You Luozong Holy Maiden, hurry up and capture it. For the sake of your young age, if you obey obediently, I can still keep you alive, otherwise you will be better off dead. Facing the threat from a group of people, the blue-clothed woman Xiao Yaren raised her eyebrows and scolded, Dream. Xiao Yaren is the holy maiden of the Yuluo sect, the largest sect of the myriad demons. The people who besieged her came from the 3 Devil Dao sacred lands around the kingdom of 10,000 demons. These 3 forces, the 3 elders are Wu Jintao of Luoyang Sacred Land, Lian Kong of Juyu Sacred Land, and Sikong Tu of Cold Blood Sacred Land. Although he was surrounded by the three major forces, Xiaoyaran was still unwilling to be captured. She has secretly decided that even if she dies, she must not succumb to the lewd coercion of these three major forces. Seeing Xiaoyaran holding a magic sword, she looked like she was fighting to the end. The muscles on Wu Jintao and others' faces all twitched. Wu Jintao said angrily, "Little girl surnamed Xiao, don't be stubborn. Your Yuluo sect has been wiped out by me. No matter how much you resist, it will be futile." Lian Kong stroked his own goatee and smiled sinisterly. "Be obedient, let us draw your blood, and I can promise to give you your last breath." Sikong too looked at Xiaoyaran's body trivially, and said with a smile, "It would be a pity if such a blooming season was killed. Holy maiden, don't be confused for a while." After they finished speaking, the three sacred land people also burst into laughter. "Little girl, give up your resistance, leaving a life is more important than anything else. Yes, if you are willing, you can even marry our Holy Master to save your life. I believe that the Holy Master will not despise your humble status." Facing the mocking eyes of the crowd, Xiaoyaran gritted her silver teeth, and said with great shame, "Shameless and inferior, I, Xiaoyaran, will die if I die. Even if the last drop of blood is drained, it will not let you succeed." As she said that, she raised the magic sword and urged her whole body to kill it. This time Yu Luozong suffered. The fundamental reason was that her heavenly devil sacred body was exposed. However, heavenly devil sacred body is one of the top 10 god-level physiques in devil world. With this physique, one can far surpass other devil cultivators in the cultivation of devil Dao. Whether it's talent, cultivation speed, or the upper limit of cultivation, they are far from what ordinary devil cultivator can compare to. In the heavenly devil sacred body, the most crucial part is the heavenly devil holy blood. This bloodline is like an endless source, nourishing the heavenly devil sacred body. Let sacred body grow at an unimaginable rate and bring huge benefits to itself. And these people in front of her came for her heavenly devil holy blood. After besieging Yu Luozong and killing everyone else, they chased and killed Xiaoyaran all the way to come here. The purpose could not be more obvious, that is, to drain Xiaoyaran's heavenly devil holy blood. In the face of these vicious gangsters, Xiaoyaran hated to penetrate the bone. "I would rather sprinkle blood on the earth than give them. Stinky girl, you brought it on yourself." Wu Jintao and others were furious and attacked like crazy. In less than half a column of incense, Xiaoyaran was unable to support it alone, and was split into 100 wounds all over her body. She let out a shrill scream and fell to the ground. Seeing the faint golden purple blood flowing out of her, Wu Jintao and others all showed greedy eyes. "HMPH, you have to force me to wait and use force, how can you resist now?" Seeing Xiaoyaran paralyzed on the ground, Wu Jintao couldn't help but smile proudly. Roar! At this time, a white shadow suddenly burst out from a distance. Wu Jintao and others took a closer look and saw that it was a white magical beast. "Animal, Shang, you actually came back." The magic sword in Wu Jintao's hand turned into a black light that instantly penetrated the chest of Yinyu White Tiger. Puff! The silver moon white tiger spat out a trail of blood and fell heavily on the ground. Xiao Bai. Seeing this, Xiaoyaran was extremely saddened. She gritted her teeth and crawled to the side of Yinyu White Tiger. "Didn't I let you go? Why did you come back?" Silver Moon White Tiger shook his head with sad eyes. Xiaoyaran understood that Yinyu White Tiger should be looking for help, but he encountered something on the way and was so frightened that he returned here. Sizzle! A huge black shadow fell from the sky. Everyone looked up and saw a 1,000-foot-tall 9-headed python rushing towards the crowd. Tier 3 monster. Wu Jintao and the others all lit up. They guessed that the 9-headed heavenly python might be the rescuer from the Silver Moon White Tiger. Otherwise, it would not have suddenly appeared here at this time. And the third order 9-headed python has treasures all over its body. If you can kill the 9-headed python to refine devil armaments, you will definitely get a lot of spirit-level devil armaments. Thinking of this, Wu Jintao and others were all excited. This trip to kill Xiaoyaran, not only the holy blood of heavenly devil is in sight, but also the unexpected joy of 9-headed python, which is really a big profit. After a wink with Lian Kong and Sikong too, Wu Jintao took the lead, raising the magic sword and rushing towards the 9-headed heavenly python. Even Kong and Sikong too secretly ran their Junyuan with all their might, ready to set off to help Wu Jintao. Seeing this scene, Xiao Yaran showed a hint of sadness. No matter what the origin of the nine-headed heavenly python was, once they were killed by Wu Jintao and the others, it would definitely increase their strength. And what Xiao Yaran didn't want to see was that these gangsters continued to run wild. Bang! Just between the lightning and flint, a huge force suddenly descended into the sky and hit Wu Jintao heavily. Under this enormous force, Wu Jintao smashed into the ground with his sword and man. Everyone took a closer look, and he at least smashed the ground into a pit that was half a jong deep. And the sound of bones breaking at that moment let everyone know clearly that he must have been completely shattered, and he will not live long. This scene made Lian Kong and Sikong too, who were about to start, almost gasped. Emperor Realm. My God, this is the breath of the Emperor Realm. The terrifying aura just now flashed by, but left a heavy blow in their hearts. They could never have imagined that Wu Jintao was shot by an emperor's power. Before everyone could recover, a tender and lovely voice sounded. Daddy, Xiaoju is there. Everyone hurriedly turned around to look, and saw a man as handsome as a god, walking quickly with 4 porcelain doll girls. Nine-headed Tianmeng immediately returned to Zhan Yu's side with a pleasing look. Seeing this, everyone understood in seconds that the nine-headed Tianmeng was the pet that the man in white kept for his daughter. However, the man who shot Wu Jintao just now must be the man in white. Wanting to understand this, everyone looked at Lin Zhan with a deep sense of awe. Even before Lin Zhan brought his daughters to him, Lian Kong and the others trembled slightly under his powerful aura and retreated a few steps. Oops, Daddy, look, the silver moon white tiger magical beasts are injured. After approaching, Zhan Yu looked nervous when she saw the dying Yinyu white tiger. Xuanju also shook her head, showing a sad look. It looks so pitiful. Xuanxi and Xuanan nodded at the same time. Well, it has blood on its stomach, it must be very painful. When Xiao Yaran heard the words of the children, a deep sadness filled her face. However, she quickly suppressed her sadness, got up, and respectfully knelt in front of Lin Zhan. Little girl Xiao Yaran, meet Beishuan Heavenly Emperor. Xiao Yaran's words made Lian Kong and everyone else struck by lightning. Standing in front of him, is it actually a big man like Beizhan Heavenly Emperor? On second thought, everyone thinks it is quite possible. This place belongs to the Kingdom of 10,000 Demons, and the Kingdom of 10,000 Demons has been annexed by Bei Xuantian. Lin Zhan is a strong emperor, and he looks so transcendent and refined, and he has quadruplets. All these are linked together, and 9 times out of 10, he is Beishuan Heavenly Emperor. Lin Zhan looked down at Xiao Yaran lightly. Do you recognize me? He really is the emperor. Hearing Lin Zhan's words, Xiao Yaran felt excited. Hastily said, the little girl has never seen the emperor's respected appearance. Just because Empress Xuanbing was in control of the 10,000 demons, I met her once. Seeing that the 4 girls next to Emperor Fu are somewhat similar to her, combined with Emperor Realm cultivation base, I made such a guess. Xuanju asked, Aunt, have you met my mother? Xiao Yaran nodded. Well, the sect I'm in is called Yuluo sect. My master once led us to show submission to her when Her Majesty the Empress ruled the kingdom of 10,000 demons. Lin Zhan nodded slightly. Presumably, after the East Emperor Zio attacked the kingdom of 10,000 demons, he purged the martial Dao world of the kingdom of 10,000 demons. Since Xiao Yaran's Yuluo sect can surrender to Dongwang Zio, it means that they are not evil sects. Otherwise, with the character of Emperor Dongwang Zio, they will not be left behind. Oh, it seems that Aunt is a good person. Xuanju nodded. Xuanxi followed up. Daddy said that Yinyu White Tiger is a good magical beast, and its owner must be a good person too. Xuanan thought about it for a while and thought it made sense. Hearing their words, Lian Kong and others on the side felt a heart in their throats. I secretly cried in my heart, this one is going to be bad. Yuluozong seems to be a sect appointed by the Queen of Xuanbing. And now, the 3 sacred lands not only slaughtered the Yuluo sect, but also wanted to kill the princesses, pet 9-headed heavenly python. Not only deeply offended the Queen Mother Xuanbing, but also touched the bottom line of the emperor's husband. Seeing how doting on his daughters, how could he easily let him go? I'm afraid that if he gets angry, the 3 sacred lands will be wiped out in an instant. Thinking of this, Lien Kong and the others only felt that their legs were no longer able to support them, and suddenly fell to their knees. The Emperor is above. I have no intention to offend you and the Empress, please forgive me. Lin Zan's brows were slightly wrinkled. He was disdainful of taking action against these rabble. However, this gang of Devil Dao people attacked Yu Luozong, making the already stable martial Dao world of 10,000 demons regenerate variables. Moreover, they all wanted to attack the nine-headed heavenly python just now. This gave Lin Zan a reason to have to deal with them. In Lin Zan's heart, daughters and their mothers were taboos that others could not touch. These people, disturbing the kingdom of 10,000 demons, trying to kill the nine-headed heavenly python, how can they keep it? But Lin Zan would not start killing in front of his daughters, but said coldly, go away. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, Defu. Lien Kong and the others hurried away as if they had been granted amnesty. As for Wu Jintao's body, the emperor did not speak, and no one dared to touch it, so he could only let him die in the mud pit. Xiao Yaran thought that Lin Zan really wanted to let Lien Kong and the others go, and couldn't help feeling slightly disappointed. Think about it too, how lowly you are, how can you ask the emperor to avenge yourself? She sighed helplessly. However, after a short while, she found an abnormality. An indescribable terrifying spiritual thought escaped the children and was released from Defu's body. This divine sense is vast and majestic, as if it came from an ancient giant god, and people can't help but worship. I see. Defu doesn't want to kill in front of the children. He deliberately let Lien Kong and the others go, and then killed them with divine sense. There was boundless awe and admiration in Xiao Yaran's beautiful eyes. Such a powerful man, so careful and gentle, he is so perfect. It's a great blessing for Her Majesty Queen Zanbing to get such a man. Xiao Yaran's heart has been imprisoned for a long time because of cultivation Devil Dao. At this moment, it was like ice, melting under the bright spring sun. At this time, Xuanju and the others had come to the side of Yinyu White Tiger. Looking at the dying Yinyu White Tiger, the four little girls all showed sad expressions. It's really cute magical beasts, like Xiaoju, but it's a pity it's going to die. It's so distressing to see. It's all the fault of the bad guys, they have no love at all. HMPH, they still want to bully my little Ju, so annoying. How cute is my little Ju? Seeing the four children so sad, Xiao Yaran couldn't help shedding tears. Silvermoon White Tiger has followed her since childhood, but now it is a great torture to watch it die. However, the Yinyu White Tiger was hit hard by Wu Jintao just now, with almost no vitality, and it is doomed to die. Xuanxi turned around and took Lin Zan's hand, begging, Dad, you are so powerful, save the Yinyu White Tiger. When she said this, Xuanju, Xuanan, and Xuanyu all lit up. That's right, as long as Daddy is there, the dead can come alive. The three little girls hurriedly entangled Lin Zan and asked him to find a way to save the Yinyu White Tiger. Xiao Yaran opened her mouth in surprise. The children believed in Emperor Fu so much. Could it be that Emperor Fu really had a way to save Xiao Bai? She hurriedly saluted. I beg the Emperor to save Xiao Bai, and the little girl is willing to be a cow and a horse to repay her kindness. Lin Zan was entangled by the little girls, so he had no choice but to smile. Okay, Daddy will find a way. He thought that he had obtained a holy pill of good fortune last time. This elixir has the effect of bringing back the dead, and it will definitely be able to save the Silver Moon White Tiger. For the sake of his daughters, Lin Zan certainly won't be stingy with the good fortune magic pill. So he spread out his palms, took the good fortune magic pill in his hands, and said, Daddy is here to save it. Yeah, Daddy really has a way. Awesome, awesome. The little girls suddenly danced. After Lin Zan fed Yinyu White Tiger the good fortune pill, a mysterious golden light flashed not long after, and Yinyu White Tiger was reborn. Returned from the dead, Xiao Yaran looked up at Lin Zan with incomparable admiration. He is really a miraculous man. Aunt, can we play with Xiao Bai for a while? Seeing the resurrection of Yinyu White Tiger, Xuanju and the others couldn't wait to ask. Before Xiao Yaran could answer, Zanyu called the nine-headed heavenly python over. Aunt, I'll play with you with Xiao Ju. Xiao Yaran said with a frightened expression. No, no, if you like Xiao Bai, just play with him. Oh, thank you then. Zanyu was very happy. You can play with other people's pets without exchanging xiaoju with others. I'm so lucky. While the children were playing, Xiao Yaran walked up to Lin Zan and said respectfully, "De Fu, there is a martial Dao conference in the country today. If you don't preside over it, I'm afraid there will be a bloody storm." Martial Dao conference. Lin Zan narrowed his eyes slightly when he heard the words. It seems that his guess just now was not groundless. The martial Dao world of the myriad demons is not so peaceful. The destruction of the Yuluo sect will indeed cause a bloody storm in today's conference, as Xiao Yaran said. If that's the case, let's go take a look, Lin Zan said. Before coming to the kingdom of 10,000 demons, he was going to take the children to the Devil Monarch Palace to play. Since the martial Dao conference is located in the capital, let's stop by. Well, I'll show you the way. Xiao Yaran took the initiative to invite Ying, and it was such an honor to be able to accompany the emperor. Lin Zan nodded slightly. Another advantage of letting Xiao Yaran lead the way is that the daughters can play with Silver Moon White Tiger for a while. As long as the girls are happy, anything will do. Afterwards, Lin Zan took his daughters, led by Xiao Yaran, to the location of the martial Dao conference. Wanmo is 3 million miles away. Sunset's sacred land. Holy Lord, it's not good. An anxious voice entered Zhu Tianyu's ears. Opening his bloody eyes, Zhu Tianyu frowned and said, "What's the matter?" Sacred Land Elder, who reported the situation to him, said, "Elder Wu, they are all dead." What? Zhu Tianyu looked shocked. It shouldn't be. Today, Wu Jintao led people, together with 2 other elders of Sacred Land, to besiege Yuluozong. This matter came from Zhu Tianyu's personal instruction. According to Zhu Tianyu's judgment, the elders of the 3 major sacred lands are all venerable early-stage cultivation bases, which are comparable in strength to the sect leader of Yuluozong. Coupled with the secret protection of sacred land, if they suddenly attacked Yuluozong, they would be caught off guard. How could it be dead? Elder said. Yuluozong has been wiped out, and the news has spread. As for Elder Wu and the others, they all died violently on the way to kill Holy Maiden. Hearing this, Zhu Tianyu was even more puzzled. Chasing and killing a holy maiden, leading to the destruction of all, is a book from heaven. Have they brought their bodies back? Zhu Tianyu asked hurriedly. Bring it back, right in the temple. After Zhu Tianyu heard this, he hurriedly took the elder to the temple. I saw hundreds of people lying side by side on the ground. One of the most notable, of course, is Wu Jintao. Zhu Tianyu carefully examined their bodies and muttered. Elder Wu has only a slight wound, but his bones are all broken, and all meridian's blood vessels are ruptured. This shows that the person who shoots against the Elder Wu is a fatal blow, and the cultivation base is far higher than the Elder Wu. As for the others, there are no visible scars on the body, and the meridians, bones are intact throughout. Only the pupils collapsed, indicating that they were attacked by someone with divine sense. He straightened up sharply and asked, how about the other 2 people from Sacred Land? The elder said, all of them are dead. According to what you said, the Holy Lord, they all died from the attack of spiritual thoughts, and they have been brought back by their respective sacred lands. Hi, hearing this, Zhu Tianyu couldn't help taking a deep breath. He secretly guessed that the people who killed Wu Jintao and the others should have crushed Wu Jintao with the powerful cultivation base first. Then, he let go of his divine sense and instantly killed everyone else. In this way, the other party should be only one person. Because of this method of killing, the clouds and waters are intertwined, and it looks like they came from the same person. However, being able to kill so many sacred land masters at the same time. We have encountered a great person. Zhu Tianyu is the pinnacle of venerable realm, and is also a master of spiritual cultivation. He can say with certainty that the person who made the shot, his cultivation base and spiritual mind, are at least Emperor realm. This is horrible. That big shot, with the Emperor realm cultivation base alone, was able to crush the entire Luoyang sacred land. If you use the divine sense of the God realm again, the power is simply unimaginable. I am afraid that the entire Luoyang sacred land is similar to an ant in the eyes of others. Elder asked, Holy Lord, do we want to trace who did it? Check. Of course you have to check. Zhu Tianyu had an excited look on his face. Following the clues of the Holy Maiden of Yuluo sect, we will definitely be able to find out who that person is. Remember, once you find out, report it to me immediately. Yes, Elder nodded and couldn't help reminding, Holy Master, the ability of the other party is very terrifying, we have to treat it carefully. Of course I know. Zhu Tianyu showed a look of awe. As long as I find out who he is, I will come to the door as soon as possible to apologize. We Sacred Land can't afford to offend such a strong man. Holding the same mentality as Luoyang Sacred Land Zhu Tianyu, the Holy Master of Juyu Sacred Land, Zhang Dinglei, and the Holy Master of Cold Blood Sacred Land, Ling Su, are also trying their best to track down Lin Zan's whereabouts. For a time, the three sacred lands were all caught up in the nervousness and anxiety of looking for Lin Zan. 10,000 Demons Country, Demon Mountain. The mountain is 100,000 meters high and looks like a demon overlooking the world. Therefore, it has become a sacred mountain revered by the demons all over the country. The Martial Dao Conference, which is held every 5 years, has already opened on the mountain at this time. Devil cultivators from all over the country, Immortal Cave, and devil cultivators with more than 100,000 spirit wheels from the cottage are gathered together at this moment, and the voices are full of people. Empress Zan Bing created the history of the ages and ruled our kingdom of demons, which made our Martial Dao Conference very different. That's right, Sacred Land was wiped out because of the opposition to the Empress, and now the entire Martial Dao world of the kingdom of 10,000 demons is in a situation where there are no leaders. It's not like a group of dragons without a leader. Once today is over, Yuluo sect will definitely take the place of Ma Sheng Sacred Land and become the leader of the demon sect in the country. The biggest highlight of this Martial Dao Conference is who can become the new leader after the fall of Sacred Land. However, as the number one demon sect of 10,000 demons, Yuluo sect was naturally talked about. At this moment, a shocking news broke out. Yuluozong was suddenly besieged by Luoyang Sacred Land, Juyu Sacred Land and Cold Blood Sacred Land, and it has been destroyed. Whoa, this shocking news caused a roar of discussion in the audience. Many people did not expect that the Yuluo sect was destroyed overnight. It seems that today's Martial Dao Conference, there are bound to be a lot of sects fighting for the first place, and they have to fight to the death. Just as everyone was talking about it, a round of magic moon suddenly illuminated the entire Demon God Mountain. Under the magic moon, the magic cloud floats. A magic light of mysterious and profound meanings covered the heaven and earth, making everyone present feel a sense of sympathy for a while. There is a vision in the sky, and there must be a strong person born. What a powerful devilish chi, this is at least a master at the peak of venerable. Who is it? When everyone was amazed, they saw a black figure descending from the sky. He was wearing a black robe, with long hair on his shoulders, and a mark of the devil moon on his forehead. Hey, it's Gu Sujing, the sect leader of the Wind Cry sect. Someone who knew Ji Yu Sujing couldn't help but exclaimed. Gusu sect leader can summon such a huge magic moon, which means that his, Tian's magical art, has reached great perfection. Immediately, these people inferred from the vision just now, in addition to Ji Yu Sujing's current strength. Aside from cultivation base, what Ji Yu Sujing is most afraid of is his forbidden secret technique, Tian's magic art. With this magic power, you can create your own magic domain and use infinite magic power for your own use. With a single blow, it can even exert more than 10 times its potential. In other words, if Ji Yu Sujing fights with all his strength can be raised to the quasi-emperor realm. Seeing Ji Yu Sujing appear with such aura, everyone present understood that he was demonstrating to everyone by making a high-profile appearance this time. If anyone wants to compete with him, they must suffer the feats of his, Tian's demonic art. If there is no stronger person, this Martial Dao Conference will be a performance by Ji Yu Sujing alone. Everyone couldn't help thinking at this moment. Gusu sect leader, what a majesty. Just when everyone was silent, a young voice sounded at the door. A man in a blood-red robe walked into the door with a reckless gaze. It's Blue Wind, the sect leader of the Blood Lizong. The eyes of everyone present trembled. The Blood Li sect where Blue Wind belonged, and the Wind Weeping sect where Ji Yu Sujing belonged were the two super big sects ranked after the Yuluo sect. The devil cultivators under the door are more than 100,000 people, and there are many talented people among them. It can be said that after Yuluozong is gone, either of these two sects has the strength to win the top spot. It was no wonder that Blue Wind appeared shortly after Ji Sujing appeared. And when it comes to the grievances between the Blood Lizong and the Wind Cry, it started from the founders of the two sects. It was no wonder that Blue Wind was full of hostility and ridicule towards Ji Sujing before he even entered the door. Ji Sujing stared at Kang Feng coldly. Kang sect leader, do you want to compete with me on the same stage? Kang Feng sneered. That's right. If you want to become the first person in martial Dao of the myriad demons, you must first ask me if I agree or not. Oh, what a big breath. The magic moon in the middle of Ji Sujing's forehead flashed a shrill light. In an instant, a terrifying killing intent enveloped the entire demonic mountain. It made everyone in the audience tremble. Kang Feng came to Ji Sujing with the same expression on his face. The true essence of the whole body is turned into a boundless black mysterious magic light. Let me come to know your, Tian's magical art. Just after he finished speaking, his right hand drew out 100 Zhong magic sword and slashed it down with an imposing aura. When everyone saw this, they were all terrified. Blue Wind is most famous for his mysterious secret art demon sword slash. It is rumored that the peak power can sever a space within a radius of 1 mile. When I saw it at this moment, it really lived up to its reputation. Ji Sujing didn't dare to be neglected, and immediately mobilized his true essence with all his strength, and blessed boundless magic power to form a demon domain. Referring to the mysterious power in the demon realm, he instantly increased his strength and slashed out with the demon sword in hand. Boom! The powerful magic sword with rolling waves of magic directly smashed Blue Wind's magic sword, forcing him back 10 steps. At this moment, Blue Wind's right hand trembled violently, and there was even a trace of blood spilling from the corner of his mouth. Only by you, I still can't stop me from becoming the king. Ji Sujing smiled proudly. Kang Feng sneered. Your strength is very strong, so I'm just throwing some advice. The person who will really deal with you is the ancestor of our Blood Li sect. After that, a bloody light fell from the sky, turned into a rickety, red-haired old man with blood all over his body. As soon as he came out, all the more than 100,000 devil cultivators in the audience felt a chill in their hearts. Blood from the ancestors, the founder of Blood Lizong, has a cultivation base for more than 56,000 years. According to rumors, after the cultivation base reached the peak of Venerable, the ancestors of Shuili did not increase the cultivation base, but specialized in supernatural powers. And his most powerful supernatural power is Living Blood Dafa. This magical power is claimed to be able to forcibly drain the blood of the enemy's body and turn it into a mummified corpse. What's more terrifying is that this magical power has the power to kill the enemy by leaps and bounds. That is to say, even in the quasi-emperor realm, once he is hit with his blood-leaving technique, it will be more fortunate than good. Seeing the appearance of Shuili's ancestor, Ji Sujing's mood suddenly dropped to freezing point. Ancestor Shuili was obviously very powerful, but he hid first so that Blue Wind could fight against him. This shows that Shuili ancestor not only surpasses in strength, but is also a thoughtful old monster. Since he appeared, he must have fully grasped his own weakness. Thinking of this, Ji Sujing couldn't help shed a few drops of cold sweat. Little Gusu, if you bring the entire wind-crying sect to the Blood Li sect, I can consider leaving you a small life, patriarch. Ancestor Shuili looked down at Ji Sujing arrogantly. Under his pressure, not only Ji Sujing, but the whole audience felt a death-like fear. However, Ji Sujing is also a proud and arrogant person. How could he do such a humiliating thing? He roared, Ancestor Shuili, even if you are stronger than me, it is not so easy to win against me. He instantly raised his true yuan to the limit, and the demon realm he just created suddenly increased dozens of times. And his breath has truly reached the quasi-emperor level. The ancestor of Shuili smiled. Even if it is the quasi-emperor, I have the ability to kill him. Kang Feng sneered from the side and said, after the ancestor kills you, then the Wind Cry sect will be bloodshed, and then all those who are unconvinced in the martial Dao world of the kingdom of 10,000 demons. When everyone heard this, they all felt a chill behind their backs. It seems that not only will there be a bloody battle today, but the martial Dao world of the myriad demons will also experience a shocking turmoil. Just then, a figure hurried in. Kang Feng turned around and saw that it was Wu Ting, the great elder of the sect. Old ancestor, sect leader, Please suspend your actions against the Wind Cry sect to avoid unnecessary casualties. Wu Ting said with a serious face. Ancestor Shuili and Blue Wind both frowned. What's the situation? Wu Ting said. I just got the important news that there is an unknown powerhouse helping Holy Maiden of Yuluozong. The elder Wu Jintao of Luoyang Sacred Land was smashed by one move, and the rest, along with hundreds of masters from Juyu Sacred Land and Cold Blood Sacred Land, were instantly killed by the opponent's spiritual sense at the same time, and the method of death was exactly the same. The holy masters of the three sacred lands are all doing their best to track down the trail of the strong man, and are ready to get in touch with him as soon as possible. Hiss. This sentence, not only the people present, Ji Yu Sujing, Blue Wind, and even Shuili Patriarch were all stunned for a moment. The three major sacred lands, such as the Luoyang Sacred Land, are also familiar to the martial Dao world of the Kingdom of 10,000 Demons. They are proficient in all kinds of Devil Dao's secrets and Taboo's secret technique. They have stood for millions of years without falling. It is not necessary to say how powerful they are. Even their holy master has to climb the relationship so terribly. How strong will this unknown powerhouse be? The ancestors of Shuili couldn't help but continue to think about it. Zhu Tianyu, the holy master of Luoyang Sacred Land, is a very talented devil cultivator, and he is even more famous for his cultivation of spiritual thoughts. Even he was afraid to be like this. It shows that the person who helped Holy Maiden of Yuluozong to take action is likely to have the strength of the spiritual sense to reach the level of the emperor. If this is the case, then even if the ancestors of the blood leave, there is only one kneeling in front of this person. It's terrifying. Yuluozong is standing next to a towering tree. I don't know where sacred is, can it be so strong? It seems that the Ying family of today's martial Dao conference is neither the Wind Cry sect nor the Bloodly sect, but the Yuluo sect. The crowd couldn't help but sigh. With such terrifying powerhouses helping Holy Maiden, who is qualified to fight with her? Who has the guts to fight with her? Just as everyone was stunned, the voices of several female dolls were chirping from outside. Everyone turned to look at the door. I saw a man in white, with 4 extremely cute female dolls, and a beautiful girl in blue with many scars on her body. Anyone who knew the blue-clothed girl couldn't help but exclaimed, the blue-clothed girl is the Holy Maiden of Yuluo sect. Whoa! All eyes were on Lin Zan next to Xiao Yaran, and there was a roar. Yuluozong Holy Maiden appears. Doesn't it mean that the white-clothed young man beside her is the one who killed the 3 sacred land masters in a row? Young master in white has a very extraordinary temperament at first glance. He must have a great background. That's right. To be able to walk with Holy Maiden of Yuluozong at this time, with a calm expression on his face, must be an extraordinary person. Ignoring everyone's discussion, the ancestor Shui Li squinted and looked at Lin Zan quietly for a while. He decided to figure out Lin Zan's background first, and then make the next plan. So he was the first to meet him and smiled slightly. This gentleman has a superb temperament. I don't know which sacred land sect from 9 Heavens Immortal Domain. He saw that there was no devilish chi on Lin Zan, so he boldly guessed that he was from 9 Heavens Immortal Domain. Xiao Yaran next to her said with a look of admiration and respect, he is the husband of Empress Beixuantian. It turned out to be Bei Zan Heavenly Emperor. At this moment, the ancestors of Shui Li and others truly showed awe. Empress Xuanbing is the first empress of all ages, ruling Beixuantian and conquering the kingdom of 10,000 demons. After purging the hostile forces of the 10,000 demons, her prestige in the martial Dao world was as loud as thunder. And Lin Zan, as the man of the empress, showed even more means than that. Even if Lin Zan is just standing there plainly, the more than 100,000 devil cultivators present could feel the enormous pressure. The power of the emperor, that's how it is. Among all of them, the ancestor of Shui Li felt deeply about Lin Zan's power. The power of blood evil that he cultivated has a natural aggressiveness. However, after approaching Lin Zan just now, he found that the power of his own blood demon was instantly suppressed. In front of Lin Zan, it was as if he had entered a divine realm. No matter how powerful his blood evil power is, it will disappear in an instant, and it will not work at all. This made Shuili old ancestor truly feel fear and awe. He hurriedly bowed and saluted. Shuili Zong Shuili Patriarch, see the Emperor. Seeing him bowing to Lin Zan with a humble look, Kang Feng and Ji Yu Sujing, one of them was counted as the other, they all hurriedly followed and saluted. Blood Lizong's current sect leader Kang Feng, meet the Emperor. Wind Cry sect leader Ji Yu Sujing, meet the Emperor. More than 100,000 devil cultivators saluted in unison, their voices soaring. Xiao Yaren was shocked to see the scene in front of her. She couldn't help turning her head, and looked at Lin Zan with infinite admiration. This man, standing here without saying a word, let a group of martial Dao bosses from Wan Mogu bow down. This is his style, his invincibility. Lin Zan smiled playfully. No need to be more polite, let's continue. Ancestor Shuili, Ji Yu Sujing and others looked at each other awkwardly. Relying on the destruction of the Yuluo sect just now, they were here to fight to the death. Now Yuluozong Holy Maiden appears, and her backer is the incomparably powerful Beishuan Heavenly Emperor. If anyone dares to do it again, isn't it courting death? Ancestor Shui Li hurriedly said. This conference is mainly to help the kingdom of 10,000 demons find a leader. Yuluozong's Holy Maiden talent is outstanding, and there is an emperor to help her out, so we are not qualified to compete with her at all. Ji Yu Sujing nodded with a look of awe. Yes, if Holy Maiden doesn't dislike it, I will swear to follow Holy Maiden to the death. Kang Feng glanced at Ji Yu Sujing with contempt. This fellow was trying to become the first person just now. In the blink of an eye, Xiao Yaren was bowing down to please Xiao Yaren, which really changed his face faster than flipping a book. But, after all, everyone is trying to please Beishuan Heavenly Emperor, and it is also a wise move for Ji Yu Sujing to do so. Blue Wind also quickly stepped forward and said, that's right, Holy Maiden is the leader who does his part. The 100,000 devil cultivators behind him also shouted in unison. I will unanimously recommend Holy Maiden. Seeing that everyone respected her so highly, Xiao Yaren only felt a trance, as if in a dream. Back then, when she was selected as Holy Maiden by Yu Luozong, the scene was not as good as 1% of the scene in front of her. She knew that all this was thanks to Lin Zan. If there is no emperor, how can I be today? It is the greatest luck in this life to meet the emperor. Xiao Yaren's charming eyes could not help revealing a few traces of autumn. Ancestor Shuili took out a bead that was full of blood and crystal, and handed it to Xiao Yaren. Holy Maiden, this pill is called Magic Blood Orb. It is a high-grade medicine pill. After taking it, you can quickly replenish blood qi and recover your injuries. Without waiting for Xiao Yaren to answer, he put the demon blood orb in her hand with a diligent expression. When Ji Yu Sujing and the others saw the ancestor Shuili presenting the treasure, they couldn't help scolding the old fox in their hearts, and then they took out all kinds of elixir and gave them to Xiao Yaren. After Xiao Yaren took the demon blood orb, she ate a few more elixir, and her injuries soon recovered completely. She hurriedly turned around and bowed to Lin Zan. The little girl's existence today is all given by the emperor's husband. From now on, the emperor's husband will decide the death of the little girl. Lin Zan nodded slightly, and his eyes swept across the ancestors of Shuili and others. From now on, you will take Xiao Yaren's lead to maintain the stability and prosperity of the kingdom of 10,000 demons. If anyone dares to make trouble, he is my enemy. A Rakshasa spiritual thought was released in an instant, turning into boundless coercion, shrouding everyone's hearts. Shuili ancestors and the others really realized at this moment how powerful Lin Zan's spiritual sense is. This divine sense, like a giant god's overlooking, makes people feel awe and fear from the bones. The emperor's spiritual sense is beyond imagination. This is no longer the emperor realm, but the great saint realm. As long as the emperor's mind is moved, I will definitely lose my soul. It's really terrible. The devil is above, the emperor is so terrifying. Ancestor Shuili and the others couldn't help but leaned over to the ground and looked up, only to think that Lin Zan's figure was so tall. It is like a towering mountain, towering and growing. I will abide by the emperor's decree and will not change until death. The cries of the crowd shook the sky. Lin Zan nodded slightly. This trip to Demon God Mountain can be regarded as stabilizing the martial Dao world of 10,000 demons. Then, let's get back to business and take the kids to play. Babies, let's go. Lin Zan looked at his 4 daughters dotingly. Dad, are you going to the magic palace? Xuanzhu and the others looked forward to it. They have long wanted to know what the demon palace looks like, and how different it is from their mother's Xuanbing palace. Yes, Lin Zan led them to the door. Xiao Yaran stood in the center of the crowd, quietly watching the back of Lin Zan leaving, her eyes full of admiration and reluctance. De Fu, I will definitely redouble my efforts to become a real powerhouse and be closer to you. Before Lin Zan brought his daughters to the magic palace, he saw a luxurious guard of honor of the demons greeted him in front of him. When the leader saw Lin Zan, he immediately stopped his horse and jumped to the ground, saluting respectfully. The emperor is on top, the villain is the chief guard of the magic palace. The prince learned from the martial Dao conference that the emperor was coming to the magic palace, so he set up a banquet in the harem early, and specially ordered the villain to come to meet him. Lin Zan nodded slightly. It seems that this prince is quite well informed. Afterwards, he took his daughters to board the most luxurious mysterious dragon chariot in the honor guard. Under the awe-inspiring attention of countless demon people, he went all the way to the demon palace. After arriving there, Lin Zan headed to the harem under the leadership of the chief guard. Along the way, the little girls looked at everything in the magic palace curiously. It's really different from my mother's Xuanbing palace. Yes, the buildings here are really strange. It was fun. Hearing the children talking, the captain of the guard said with a flattering smile. Little princesses, there are many interesting places in the magic palace, especially the harem is the most interesting. As soon as the little girls heard it, they dragged Lin Zan and ran forward, for fear that they would not be able to see interesting things if they were slow. Lin Zan didn't know whether to laugh or cry and trotted after them, and soon came to the harem garden. There are not only all kinds of exotic flowers and plants here, but also the magic fog is light, and the architectural style is strange and mysterious. Wow, it's really different. The little girls all opened their eyes in surprise. This magic palace is a symbol of the rights of the myriad demons, and it gathers all the mysterious and precious things in the country, which naturally amazes them. Hearing their voices, Prince Zhengzi, who was waiting for Lin Zan in the distance, and a group of nobles rushed up to greet him. After taking a closer look at Lin Zan's appearance, Zhengzi and the others were filled with emotion in their hearts. As expected of a man who can conquer Empress Xuanbing, the emperor's appearance alone is a must. Everyone hurriedly saluted, and then respectfully invited Lin Zan and the children to take their seats. Lin Zan saw that the delicacies on the table were extremely luxurious and rare. It seems that Zhengzi and others have used a great deal of thought to prepare such a good table of delicious food. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.